opening day on this, the final day of the regular season. For the Orioles, it was another season of hope. Not where they wanted to finish, but a chance to be a 500 ball club and beat the Yankees one more time. That's what's at stake on a final Sunday for 2015. It's the Orioles on Masson, and for one more time here in Birdland, the Orioles will play baseball as the New York Yankees and the Orioles wrap up this 2015 season. Well, the Yankees came out hoping to be able to win one of the first two at least to assure themselves of the home field advantage for that first round, that wild card round. They haven't done that. Their number one team will be out there, and the Orioles would like nothing better than to finish 500 and to do it against the Yankees and deny them home field advantage. For the Orioles, it is the last go-around for the season. I'm Gary Thorne, and we're going to take a look back right now. A comparison of 2014, 2015, and the Orioles look like this. You see their standings in the American League, their rankings. 6th last year, 12th this year in average. Home runs, they were first last year, 3rd this year. The runs still good. 6th last year, but just a run differential right now. I'm going to skip to the bullpen ERA, ranked 3rd both years. And then we go to the starters. As has been the truth all season long, therein lies the problem. From 5th last year to 14th in ERA in the American League. Fielding percentage, that is still there, Jim Palmer. It just keeps coming up. Starter ERA.
Yeah, you know, and 2014 started poorly in April, a little better in May, and then, June on, winning months. 2.9 ERA the second half of the year. So, Tillman pitches today. He was a big part of it. 13-game winner last year, 16 the year before. Low ERA, gave you a chance to win. He's 10-11. So not only do the Orioles want to get back to 500, so does Chris Tate. He would love to beat the Yankees. Doesn't do it often, but beat them and get his record to 11-11.
All right, we'll see if that can happen. And thank you for joining us. Come on back for a final day of baseball at Camden Yards. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Here on this Sunday, overcast skies continue as it's been all week. Our BGE home game time temperature is going to be a cool 62 degrees with a breeze blowing in again from center field. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Well, for the Yankees, really for the first time in the three-game set, this is their starting lineup. Ellsbury, Gardner, Rodriguez, Beltran, McCann, and Bird, Headley, Ackley, and Gregorius. For A-Rod DHing, those are the numbers here in this ballpark in 125 games played here.
And let's take a look at what Chris Tillman can do. Fastball, two-seamer, and four-seamer. That'd be the big difference the last couple of years. The two-seam fastball, a little more movement. Breaking ball is actually two pitches. Curveball, low percentage pitch. Hard to throw that 12-6 hook over. He's got a little slider. And then very important in the game. In fact, he's coming off a game where he pitched very well. Got a no decision against Toronto, the team that really put a dent in his ERA this year. And so, again, he used the slider. He was very good. And then, again, he probably... It's hard to say. He probably hasn't pitched as well as last year, but they haven't scored as many runs. So, but anytime you have an ERA at 5 runs a game, that is high for him, and he wants to certainly finish 2015 with a flourish, and why not do it against the Yankees?
For the Orioles, at stake is a .500 season. They have a chance at third in the division. For the Yankees, at stake is that wild card spot. They're going to play the wild card game. The question is where. If they win, it's at home. If they don't win this ball game, they could have to open up either against the Rangers, the Astros, in Texas. And we are underway, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Jacoby Ellsbury in that leadoff spot. Only one game in this series, and 0 for 3. Joe Girardi's ball club, 87 and 74. And trying to get that home field advantage. And a breaking ball by Tillman will be fouled back at an 0-2 count.
Yeah, that's the sky hook. I mean, it goes straight down and throws it kind of like my career. It's hard to throw over because it breaks so much, but he's around 45%. Lately, it's been up. And then lately, he's pitched a little bit better. But they haven't scored a lot of runs for him. Maybe that'll change today.
Pitch will be put in the air to left center field. Wind blowing it in, and a diving catch made by Reimold. That ball off the bat looked like it was going to travel further, but the wind got a hold of it, and Reimold just able to get there.
And a lot of times you get fooled on the big swing. You can see how shallow he is, but he takes a drop step, and now all of a sudden, boy, this is a pretty special play here, because this is probably a double. The way Ellsbury can run. Again, on one of those days with speed at the plate in Jacoby Ellsbury, what would have been a normal single would have been a double, but now it's just an out.
So the leadoff man retired. That's been a problem for Chris Tillman this season, retiring only 61% of leadoff batters. Not a good number. Trying to get better at that here in this final game against the Yankees. Here's Gardner. Gardner's got a 7-game hit streak, a 1 for 5 in the only game he appeared in this series. He's gone 8 for 30 lifetime off Tillman. What Joe Girardi did was kind of place a B crew in with some starters for one game, another B crew with a couple of other starters for the second game, and now here in the third game you have the Yankee lineup that you would expect to see in a ball game. Ball put up in the air, Pierce in left. Again, that wind will blow it over, and he's got it.
Now take a look at the Oriole defense. Pierce, Reimold, Parr. You're wondering where is the 4-time Gold Glover. Adam Jones, all kinds of back spasm, shoulder problem. Machado, Hardy, Gold Glovers. Flaherty, Davis, and Matt Wieters with a couple of Gold Gloves doing the catching for the Orioles.
That'll bring A-Rod to the plate. Rodriguez with a 1 for 5 in the series. He has hit Tillman hard, 6 for 12, and 4 of the 6 hits have been home runs. Breaking ball will skip all the way to the backstop. One of the problems for the Yankees here at the end is at the middle of this lineup, A-Rod, McCann in particular, are not hitting. Since the All-Star break, Rodriguez batting average is .218, an extended period of time for an average just over the Mendoza line. 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball, backs off inside, and a 2-0 count.
Yeah, against the Orioles, I mean, pretty good 2015, 6 home runs. And again,
hit 7 of those home runs in the month of September, but not a very high average. And you're right about. And you can see Chris Tillman, when a guy owns you, and like you said, 6 for 12 with 4 of those being home runs. He usually, you got a high ball pitcher, high ball hitter. That's not a good matchup.
Tillman behind 3-0. You have no reason to believe A-Rod wouldn't swing here if it's what he wants. And it was a good pitch on the outside corner. For Chris against the Yankees, he's 5-6 lifetime. ERA just over 5. 2-2, 7 career starts here at Camden Yards. He's faced them only once this year, all the way back on May 7. He took a loss. 3-1 delivery, and that will be foul back, so the count goes full on Rodriguez.
Yeah, now Chris is saying, okay, changeup was really good against the best hitting team in the American League. That was Toronto. There are the numbers. Curveball, that's a high number. Manley doesn't throw it over a lot, but the changeup, that's probably, this is the count here, 3-2. Really just make sure you have good arm speed, and he can hit the fastball, throw him something other than that.
3-2 delivery, and he'll walk him. So Tillman surrenders a free pass with 2 down here in the first inning. That will keep the inning alive for Beltran. Beltran has been a hitter who's continued it on after the All-Star break. He has not had a hit off Tillman in 8 at bats, going 0 for 8. His .290 average over the last 113 games is the best on the Yankees over that stretch, that long stretch. Beltran waiting on it, and the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Here on this final day, all of the games starting at 3 o'clock nationwide. So much left to be decided. It's kind of unbelievable that we have come into this final game, final day, and still so much left up in the air regarding the postseason, the most important of which is going to be the American League West title. The wild card race has the Yankees, Astros, and Angels all involved in it. Yankees are going to go. It's just a question of will they have to go to Texas to play one of those games, and will it be the Astros or the Angels, wherever they play. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that breaking ball will miss. Well, he falls behind him here in a 3-0 count.
Yeah, usually the toughest inning. And the other factor today, Gary, you described yesterday as being raw. It's a little bit warmer, but the ball feels different on a day like this than it has probably since the beginning of the season.
Pretty good wind. That wind had a bite to it this morning, blowing in from center field.
And it's not that it's cold. I always felt that, even when you pitched in the high 30s, low 40s, you're moving around, so you have an advantage, but it's the grip. You feel the ball as well. As your breaking ball is sharp, can you actually get on top of it?
3-1 delivery is going to be belted to right field, and it's going to fall just short of the wall. A-Rod coming to third. He'll be held up there. And again, one of the problems the Yankees have. They do not have speed. Middle of this lineup's got some older players who can't run, and A-Rod's one of them, and he ends up at third base rather than crossing the plate, but it's going to be a base hit for Beltran.
Now, you don't want to be in these counts, and that's an 89-mile-per-hour fastball. That's not going to do it in a 3-1 count. So you can see the extension. And this is A-Rod. Of course, it is very difficult sometimes to score. You can see this is not the A-Rod at age 40 that we have known. So again, you also got to figure that sooner or later you're going to be able to get some clutch hits with McCann coming up, your RBI leader. Don't want to get him thrown out.
So McCann, he has struggled more than anyone else in the American League since the All-Star break. His batting average is the lowest of anyone in the league at 199 since the All-Star break. First and third, there are 2 down. McCann puts it up in the air to right field. Parra is going to be there, and the inning is over. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. The Orioles lineup when we come back. Lineup brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Raimo, Pyre, and Machado, Davis, Wieters, and Pierce, Clevenger, Hardy, and Flaherty. Manny, last 4 games. Can you say sizzle?
Get the steaks on the grill right there. Michael Pineda finally healthy. So a lot of fastballs, 92 to 94 with a lot of movement. Big guy, 6'7", 260-ish. Breaking ball, hard slider, good changeup. Again, pretty good numbers. More hits than innings pitched, because look at the walks, 21 of them in 157 innings. One of the lowest strikeout to walk ratios in baseball. So again, and then the home run balls. So he's coming off a game where against the Red Sox, and of course if they had won, they would have already had the wild card. He gave up 6 runs in the first.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike by Raimo. Nolan finishing up strong. 4-game hit streak for him. He's had a 3 for 7, a home run, a leadoff homer in the doubleheader. 0-1 pitch will go down the line in right and back for a souvenir. Number 50.
Yeah, first time ever he has led off a game with a home run, and he did it against Luis Severino, young 21-year-old right-hander who pitched very well for the Yankees. Machado and Raimo home runs off him. Solo shots.
5 for his last 16 at the plate, and Pineda's delivery will be taken down low. Michael Pineda 2-1 against the Orioles this year. He is 3-1 lifetime here in this ballpark. Pineda's 1-1 lost 1 with an ERA here at Camden Yards of 5.8. Protecting on a good pitch down. Pretty good heater on the fastball, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Well, for a young pitcher, as far as experience, and he's only 26, and then of course he got traded in the Jesus Montero trade from Seattle. He wowed everybody with his rookie year, made the All-Star team for the Mariners, and then all kinds of shoulder problems.
And the pitch is going to miss up high. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talking about the non-walks, he leads the American League with a 7.19 strikeout to walk ratio. He's second in the majors behind Scherzer in that department. 2-2 delivery on the way, and he got him on the inside corner at the knees.
Well, the Orioles all know about that. On the 10th of May, struck out 16 and didn't walk anybody. Gave up a run, this little backdoor slider, you give up on it. I'm not sure if that's was the intention, but it certainly was effective.
That will bring Pyre to the plate. What a job he and Manny Machado did in the order in the doubleheader yesterday. He's had a tremendous 6 for 9. Driving in runs, 3 RBIs. Pitch to him will be taken away for a ball. He has faced Pineda 3 at bats and has gone 1 for 3 against them.
Well, we saw him bunt. We saw him hit balls, pull, slice him to left. Headley taking the bunt away at third today.
That one's right back into the screen.
We kind of saw the guy that I envisioned that we saw in Arizona a couple of years ago before he got to the Brewers. He can hit home runs, but doesn't try to hit home runs. But he's a kind of a spray hitter with occasional power. You know, a Gold Glover, good base runner, really good arm.
Pitch on the way to him, and that one is going to miss a little bit down low to Parra. He's had a hit in 9 of the last 11 at a .341 clip against the Yankees, including 8 straight games in which he's hit against New York. 2-1 delivery to him, and another. Again goes the other way for the base hit. Gardner will bring it in, and Parra's on 4-game hit streak.
Take a look at the Yankee defense, and you know, Gardner, real good left fielder. Ellsbury cover a lot of ground, not a great arm. Beltran's 38. Headley, Gregorius, Ackley because Stephen Drew has concussion-like symptoms. Again, Greg Bird taken to Teixeira's place, who's out for the year with a bruised, or actually the broken shin bone, and then the veteran Brian McCann doing the catching, and this is their A team.
This is Manny Machado. 4-game hit streak. He has hit Pineda as hard as anyone in the lineup. He is 5 for 11 against the Yankees starter. The big series, 3 for 9, couple of home runs, 4 RBIs against the Yankees yesterday.
Yeah, and you'll just look at all these pitches right here. They are not down in the zone. He's one of the best high ball hitters in baseball. He's been getting balls up in the zone to hit. Even Severino, what, about 96? Took that into the bullpen. And again, the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark anywhere or drive it from gap to gap.
His homers in career high 4 straight. Last time anybody did that was Caleb Joseph. August of last year, when he had 5 games in which he hit home runs. 1-0 pitch on the way, and that ball will be fouled back outside of first base.
Was that the same youngster that was here yesterday? With
yes, same one.
Probably spent the night here.
Same one, same sign, same hat. There you go.
They got it signed.
Very good.
He got a couple autographs.
Good for him. Some of the Oriole players were out before the game, down along the sideline with the fans. There was no batting practice or anything on the field for either team, so they were out signing some autographs today for fans. 1-1 delivery. Machado will take the pitch. Misses a little bit outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Manning.
I thought his self-assessment of somebody said, well, why are you, so as you described it, sizzling. He said, well, I'm a better hitter. I don't swing as many bad pitches. Doesn't mean he doesn't swing at them. Everybody does. But that's lessened. Quality at bats.
Runner goes. Machado swings and misses. Throw is off the mark a little. Didn't get him. Went by the bag on the slide, but Parra gets back in. No chance for the tag to be made by Ackley, the second baseman. And now they're going to send him back. Interference call?
Well, it must have been with Manny. I mean, Manny's kind of looking in, and you could see the tag. So I guess the backswing gets him. That's all it takes.
Now Buck's going to come out. So with the call as it stands at the moment, is Parra will head back to first base.
Oh, we saw it down in Tampa where I think Longoria actually kind of swung at a breaking ball and collapsed, but it wasn't a backswing. I mean, this is just a long swing, and it does get McCann. Obviously, probably deterred him from making as accurate a throw.
Now Girardi's coming out. I know what Girardi's saying. Why isn't the batter out?
Because I think it has to be intentional, or more intentional than that. I mean, that's just a long swing. Happens all the time.
So a break for the Yankees right there. On the interference, Parra will go back to first base with a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Manny Machado. Against the Yankees this season, Manny has been red hot. 338, 6 home runs, and has driven in 14 runs. And now down at third base, Mike McClinsky asking for the umpires to come over. Wagner, the home plate umpire, Mark Wagner, the home plate umpire, is the crew chief.
Yeah, I think a backswing is not the kind of interference we saw down in Tampa where it was a freak thing. I mean, this is just you swing at a breaking ball. So the bat comes up. He doesn't really move out of the box, practically moves at all, and the bat happens to hit the catcher. So it's certainly unintentional. Now, I can see bringing him back, but not calling him out like they did with Longoria.
2-2 delivery is going to be put up in the air. Not deep, right field. Beltran is there. He'll put it away. Machado is retired. Let's take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers, inside the series.
Yeah, and it's all knotted up at 9-9. The Orioles came into this series only 7 wins, pretty even though. But I think what you see, and again, you can go all the way back to 16 straight years where they hadn't actually beat the Yankees in a series till last year. But the back end of the bullpen, and that's their formula. Even though that's how the Orioles won last night. Tie ball game, they were able to get a run off Dellin Betances.
Davis up. Parra goes back to the bag. The Orioles trying to have 2 straight season series winning years. Not happened, as you saw, since 1980 when the Orioles did 3, 80, 81, and 82. Orioles 13-6 last year against the Yankees. Chance to be 10-9 against them this year. Davis a 3 for 16, 2 home runs off Pineda. Pitch will be taken outside for a ball. He's had a couple of hits in 6 at-bats in this series.
Well, this is actually a pretty good test for the Yankees. You're going into the postseason. You want to do it at home. You're only going to play that one game to get to the division. I mean, there's an urgency in that game on Tuesday, so you better be ready. And they better be ready today, or they will be going somewhere else other than Yankee Stadium.
Houston has fallen behind early in the ball game, 1-0. Remember, all the games started at 3 o'clock. The Angels have a 2-0 lead over Texas. That's in the first inning of that ball game. A.J. Pollock with a solo home run. Houston down 1-0 in their game.
Well, what a finish that was. The Rangers with a 10-8 lead. They bring in their closer, John Donaldson, for the 5th straight day. Ibar, Cole Calhoun hit home runs. They go to a guy, Russ Ohlendorf, who they had released in July and end up losing.
One of the all-time great losses in baseball history. That ball ripped towards the corner. It is a fair ball. Off on the fly is Geraldo Parra. Beltran over to get it. They're going to hold him up at third. Relay throw will come into the plate on a hop from Gregorius. So Chris Davis delivers a 2-out double, and the Orioles get 2 in scoring position.
31 doubles, 45 home runs. Nice swing here. I mean, this is how you try to get Chris Davis out. Swing has gotten progressively better. We had a great quote talking about how Scott Coolbaugh, who came on in his first year, they knew each other in the Texas organization, how he's helped him. But that's a ball he didn't hit last year. Wouldn't have been able to get to it. There is Scott.
So the Orioles' chance in the hands of Matt Wieters, who's got a 7-game hit streak coming in. He is 1 for 6 lifetime off Pineda, hitting just .208 with runners in scoring position. And the pitch to him will be at the knees for a strike. Orioles have gone 5 for 22 in the 2 games against the Yankees in these situations. This obviously is a big at bat early in this ball game.
And Pineda, his number at 319 runners in scoring position, is exceptionally high for a quality pitcher.
0-1 delivery to Wieters will cut inside. And a 1-ball 1-strike count.
As is Matt's. You can see the 7-game hitting streak, but over the course of the year, a little bit over 200 in these situations, which is very low for him.
1-ball 1-strike count, 2 away. Shift is on in the infield. They move Gregorius almost behind second base. Wieters will take it inside. McCann had a scoot on that one. That one skipped as it came to his glove. He was able to hang on to it and hold that runner.
Yeah, I think, Gary, you look on deck. Nothing against Steve Pearce, but Steve left a lot of guys on base. If you've done your homework, you know Wieters is hotter than Pearce. Not that Steve can't hit home runs, because he can. He's got 15 of them. But who do you want to pitch to?
Pineda with a 2-ball 1-strike count. Runners off second and third base. Wieters will foul that one right straight back. Well, the count 2-2. Matt had the great answer when we talked with him after the ball game last night. He's only 1 for 1 in the doubleheader, playing in one game, because he had the 4 walks in the game he played in. What do you call 4 walks? He said it's trying not to get the ball on the bat when the weather's cold and it hurts your hands to hit it. Long title, but appropriately named. 2-2 the count. Pineda look over to third. Long lead for Parra there, and that's going to be a base hit down the line. That'll score 2. Parra, Davis, Wieters delivers a single, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead.
Well, the Yankees are finding this is not a friendly place to play. Boy, we saw Matt serve one to left with the 4 walks yesterday. This is just, hey, what do I do with 2 strikes? And it's a little slider. It ends up down and in, pretty much the middle of the plate. He's fooled a little bit, but hooks it over Bird's head into the corner. And you could see, I mean, this tells you the whole story. Pineda didn't make a great pitch. Wieters made him pay for it.
The Orioles get on the board. Parra's single, double Davis. Wieters 2 RBI base hit. And here is Steve Pearce. Steve up with a runner on at first base. The Orioles 2 runs, 3 hits here in the first inning off Pineda. And now a chance to keep it going. The infield will play Pearce to pull. Steve 1-0 count. He will pop that one up in the air. Second base. Ackley moving over. And will put it away. But the Orioles do damage. They pick up 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. Wieters, the 2 RBIs. .3166 ERA is where he will finish. Only the second pitcher in Major League history to have 20 or more starts with that record and that low an ERA. The Blue Jays looked like they were in control of getting the top mark in the American League. Not so anymore. They need a win and the Royals loss to clinch the top seed. And the Cubs starters, unbelievable. They have allowed 1 run in the last 45 innings pitched. And over the last 101 years, there's only one other Major League team where its starters have had such an ERA in a 7-game span, the 2008 Cleveland Indians. Here is Greg Bird. He'll go after the first pitch, puts it down the line in left field. Pierce going over near the wall, can't get it, takes a hop up and in. And that will be a ground rule double as Bird goes after the first pitch he saw and extends his hit streak to 7 games.
Yeah, he can hit. You know, he hooked some balls yesterday, 11 home runs in what, 45, 46 games. So out of AAA, came in and rescued Teixeira and the Yankees when he got hurt.
Game's underway. Diamondbacks leading the Astros 1-0. Here is Headley. Chase Headley, 2 for 9 off Tillman, will take the pitch away. I'm not even going to try and go through the scenarios, even though it's the last day of the season. Your head would be awash in team names and numbers. The Rangers can clinch the American League West with a win or an Astros loss. That's one of the simpler definitions of things that can happen today. Here's the 1-0 delivery and a ground ball down to first base. It'll move the runner up. Davis will make the flip to Tillman covering. Headley is retired. Bird goes over to third. Orioles have announced that the Longevity Foundation Breathe Deep Baltimore 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the Orioles' late PR director Monica Pence Barlow is going to be rescheduled. It is for Sunday, October 18, 9 o'clock here at the ballpark. If you already registered, you're automatically rolled over. If you haven't, you can register and get info at Orioles.com/longevity.
So Headley gets him over, and Ackley's 1 for 13 against Tillman. We'll see if that pays off. Sacrifice fly or something else.
Ackley will take the pitch. Dustin Ackley starting at second base. Few at bats against the Orioles this year. He's only had 9, gone 1 for 9 against the Orioles, 0 for 3 in this series. In at third base, Manny Machado to take the bunt away. Ackley will get a run in. It'll be played on a nice running throw made by Flaherty. Ackley gets the RBI. Yankees get on the board, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, so again, getting them over, and you play your infield back because of the 2-0 lead, which is now 2-1. Routine ground ball. I know Ryan Flaherty made a nice catch and throw quickly. So you're on the board.
That with 2 down now, Gregorius will stand in with the bases empty. D.D. Gregorius, 2 for 5 off Tillman. See the numbers here in this series. Gregorius at short, 228 off the Orioles this year. And the breaking ball will be taken inside for a ball. The Western Division top spot is up for grabs, and the American League wild card spot, of course, is up for grabs. And a 2-0 count.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with the MVPs. We have pages. We showed you Greinke how good he is. Arrieta actually has 3 more wins.
That pitch is going to be popped up. It'll come back towards the seats, and it is out of play.
Yeah, it looks to me the Cy Young voting in the National League is going to be really close. Arrieta with 4 complete games, more innings pitched, more strikeouts, best road ERA in the National League. Greinke has the best home ERA.
Yeah, that's going to be very tight. And remember, it is done before the postseason starts. It'll be done tomorrow, unless there's another regular season game for a playoff. Gregorius just loops that one into the alley. He's going to try for 2. Reimold will make the throw, head first dive, and he's in with a double. So Gregorius now 3 for 6 off Tillman. That one comes with 2 down.
Yeah, a little changeup. That's all it is. And it's not a horrible pitch, up enough, or maybe speeds the bat up right on the corner. And he goes down and rips it into right center. And by the time Nolan Reimold, because he has to run to his left, and once again Gregorius doesn't steal a lot of bases, 5 of them, but good base running instincts there.
The Pirates, they can clinch home field for the wild card with a win or a Cubs loss. And the Pirates have the early lead against Cincinnati. Ellsbury flied out. Reimold had to come on and make a diving catch in the first inning. So Ellsbury with a chance to tie the ball game up, looking for his first hit in this series. He is 0 for 4. And Wieters goes out to have a word on how they want to work here and what the signs are with the runner on at second base. Jacoby Ellsbury this season, 272 runners in scoring position coming into the ball game. 1-0 count.
33 points lower than his lifetime average.
1-0 delivery to him, and that will be taken inside for a ball. If there is such a thing as pressure in these games, pressure is the guy who's got to figure out where he's going to earn money to feed his kids. But if there is pressure in this game, the Yankees have it. Because they do not want to go to Texas to have to play a wild card game. They want to make it at home. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that is going to be a strike called at the letters. 2-1.
Well, they're probably, if they play Houston, going to get Dallas Keuchel, who has given up 1 run and 2 starts against them. With something like 19 strikeouts and no walks. And of course, he's 15-0 at home and 5-9 on the road. So where do you want to face him? I mean, it's still not a done deal the way he's pitched against him.
2-1 delivery on the way. The Yankees have had it in their hands in all 3 of these games. A win, and they settle the whole thing. They play in New York. They just have not been able to overcome the Orioles, who came into this series intending to sweep. The Royals now have the 3-0 lead. The Twins have already been eliminated from postseason play. Kansas City can clinch the overall American League home field with a win today or a Blue Jays loss. 3-ball, 2-strike count. So everything Major League Baseball had hoped for in for the first time scheduling the final day's games all at the same time came to fruition. Yeah, that mattered.
It's really a stroke of genius to do that anyway. I mean, it obviously it's common sense, but it's whoever really implemented it, kudos.
Yep.
Tons of them.
3-2 delivery on the way and a swing and a miss. So Tillman gets him on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball. A run on 2 hits, 1 left on. Orioles lead it 2-1. the Twins' elimination. They had no one to blame but themselves. The Astros lost 5 straight games mid-September. The Rangers were sweeping 4 in Arlington to grab the American League West lead. And while that's going on, the Twins lost 5 straight at home. Before that, the Twins had one of the best AL records, home records, going. And the Twins, a disappointing season in the sense they were so close so often and didn't make it.
Yeah, but the Orioles know about the Twins. They beat them all 7 games.
Yeah.
I mean, they small balled them to death here when the Orioles, at least it looked like they were still in contention for the wild card. They went through that 18-game stretch, 3 wins, 15 losses, and only in the wins did they score more than 3 runs. Twins had something to do with that.
Clevenger down to first base. It's going to go right in front of the bag. It is a fair ball and played there by Bird. Clevenger is retired, 1 away. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Francis Hamel from Hyattsville, has won $500 for being selected. $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play baseball bucks scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 instantly. Learn more at mdlottery.com/baseball. Francis, our last contestant. Good luck. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy is 6 for 13, 3 home runs. Lifetime off Pineda. And the pitch will be taken at the knees for a strike. Look at this. Joey Butler has had a grand slam home run for the Rays. They lead at 7-0 over the Jays. Wow. They're in the first inning.
Well, they lost. The Jays lost 4-3 yesterday. Because when you're playing the Jays, the minute thing you do, you look at, okay, 7 runs is a lot of runs, but who is pitching for Tampa Bay? Matt Moore.
Yep. And who's pitching for Toronto? Mark Burley is coming out of the game in the first inning. In the air to center. Wind again is going to blow that in. Ellsbury's got it. Hardy is retired. And there are 2 down.
Yeah, Pineda's going to rue the day that he pitched to Matt Wieters in the first inning. But if the Yankees come up with 5, 6, 7 runs, it probably won't matter. But that's a decision you make. Yeah, probably with him sometimes you don't want to put an extra guy on, but you decide to pitch to Wieters, who was hotter, and then you don't make a good pitch, and that's how the Orioles got their runs.
Here's Ryan Flaherty. Ryan coming in with a 1 for 11 lifetime off Pineda. He's not had a hit in the series, going 0 for 8 and struggling at the plate here at the end. Pitch to him will be taken inside for a ball. What Ryan does not want to have happen is to have a day in which he goes hitless and have to go home. He starts with an 0 for 19 in this game.
Yeah, he had what, an 0 for 34 earlier in the year.
2-0 delivery by Pineda, and that ball will be fouled back.
Well, he's good natured. I told Adam Jones, I said, just get him in the cage, work on that bunt. And so I said, Ryan, have you been working on your bunting? He said, yeah, Jonesy already told me that.
And there's a situation where he's got that third base line not completely open. Headley, though, has moved over. They've got the shift on, and Headley's playing back. Or if you're thinking about bunting, which he isn't, it is foul back for a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
You know, Rule 5 guy, and you know, the Orioles had to keep him. He can help you win. He can play so many different positions. He has power. We've seen him hit home runs to left, to center field. But I still think at some point, and you know, of course, it's hard to do when you've been in the big leagues because it's nice up here. Boy, 500 at bats would really help him. I think just would make him a more solid hitter.
Ball put up in the air to center field. Pretty good wood on that one. Going back is Ellsbury. Warning track and makes the catch. So the Orioles are retired in order to complete on this final day. Orioles 2, Yankees 1. And these are the people who bring you the pictures with Chris and Jeff, Mike, Mo, Brent, Scott, Neil, Don, Phil. They are the ones who get all the great shots, second to none, I tell you, around Major League Baseball, and make this game that much more enjoyable for you, both what goes on the field and what goes on around it, especially with all those great fan shots they constantly find. Those just don't come automatically. The camera people have to find people in crowds of 35,000. That kid with the sign and the Manny and the smile and the ice cream cone, that's their work and part of the art that is part of being a camera person.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago that when you do TV, you're in a visual medium, and what people see, we just talk about it.
Looking at a bunt, ball will bounce away. Gardner flied out to left field, his first time up.
Yeah, another guy, and you talked about some of the Yankees struggling, whether it's A-Rod, 203-10 the first half, 202 the second half. And what Brett Gardner does, I mean, yeah, he can hit home runs, but he also steals bases. Solid defender. And of course, if you're on the bench, you're looking at Chris Tillman, and we've seen 91 or 92, but he's been 88, 89, and that's usually pretty comfortable to hit. We've seen him 92 to 94 lately.
Speed pitch that time. It looked like it had a wrinkle on it, but it was at 90.
It was a fastball.
Yeah.
A lot of times for Chris, it's a matter of because he's 6'5", just not being in rhythm. So it's hard to get that release point and be able to throw the ball downhill, and that's why your velocity vacillates.
And he will take that one. Gets it in there, first strike. Count goes to 2-2 on Gardner. The Rays are just blasting the Blue Jays out of the water. This is not a good finish, and I don't mean just today for the Blue Jays. They got to have the win to clinch the American League home field overall advantage and a Royals loss.
Yeah, but the Royals, I saw was up 3-0, so they're not messing around. They know how important it is.
Tillman gets his second strikeout.
Yeah, target in, fastball away, still works. I mean, trying to throw it the inside corner, and 133rd strikeout for Brett Gardner.
A-Rod comes up. Drew a walk, the only one surrendered by Tillman. Career 300 hitter, exactly 300 coming into this game with 67 home runs against the Orioles. Trying to catch Harmon Killebrew for the most home runs ever by a player against the O's. Killebrew had 68, and A-Rod's got 67.
Yeah, the only team with more home runs, that's against when he was playing for Seattle, and Texas is the Angels with 70.
1-0 pitch on the way to him, and that'll be up high. Tillman has danced around him here on the first at bat, and the first couple of pitches here. 2-0 count on him. Beltran waiting on deck. The Yankees have lost 5 of their last 6 ball games. 2-0 pitch on the way. A-Rod down to third base. Manny Machado on the short hop. Two down. Not receiving mass and mobile alerts. Just text the word Orioles 29292 for alerts and chances to win exclusive prizes. Again, that's Orioles to 29292. 2 down, nobody on. Beltran coming up, switch hitter, single. His first time to the plate. Miguel Cabrera is expected to be in the lineup for the Tigers today. He's going to win the American League batting crown for the 4th time. The National League one is wide open. Going into today's play, Bryce Harper and D. Gordon both are hitting .331 at the top of the National League race. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and Beltran will take that inside. Home run race in the National League and American League up for grabs. Harper and Nolan Ariando are both tied now with 42 home runs apiece. Carlos Gonzalez third with 40. 1-1 pitch. Chris Davis still leading. Nelson Cruz by 1 as he looks for the home run title for the 2nd time in 3 years. Beltran with the infield shifted around. Gordon has started his day after a batting title. 2 for 2. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Tillman's delivery is going to miss outside, and it goes to 3-1.
Yeah, D. Gordon, part of that Dodger trade. I didn't know his dad was Tom Gordon, a terrific, starting pitcher early on with Kansas City, and then one of the great closers for a while.
3-1 pitch and walked him. Second walk surrendered by Tillman. This one with 2 away, as was A-Rod's in the first inning.
Yeah, nowadays, boy, when you keep getting the 3 count ball counts and end up walking guys, the pitch count gets away from you quickly. Yeah, Chris coming in with 167 and 2/3 innings, so not as many innings as last year.
McCann, who flied out his first time up, infield shift on against him, again goes after the first pitch. That's J.J. Hardy, and McCann is retired. So McCann now has not had a hit in his last 20 at bats. 2-1, Orioles up. Angela once again joining forces with Kids Peace to host the 6th annual Trick or Treat 5K 1-mile walk, a Halloween theme race, Saturday, October 31st. To tell you about it, Angela Showalter.
It's the Trick or Trot, 6th annual Trick or Trot 5K or a 1-mile walk, and you can come in costume. You can come as you are or your favorite Oriole. And this particular event, we focus on our kids who are aging out of foster care. In the state of Maryland, when you're 21, you age out, and even though your foster care home would still like for you to stay there, you have to go out and independently live on your own, which, as you being a parent knows, that when you are 21, the decisions you are faced with are far more impacting than the ones when you're 13.
Angela Showalter regarding their annual Trick or Trot. You can get information at Orioles.com/kidspeace. There you go, Orioles.com/kidspeace to support this great effort by Buck and his wife. Nolan Reimold. Reimold called out on strikes his first time up. Pineda, no walks, 1 strikeout. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, the Orioles up by a score of 2-1, trying to wrap the season up at 500. 81 and 81 if they can get the win. They have a 4-game win streak. Astros now tying the Diamondbacks 1-1. 2-1 is fouled away. During this 4-game win streak for the Orioles, their offense has outscored the opponents 27-10. And not only do they have a 4-game win streak overall, they have also won the last 4 games they've played against the Yankees. Joe Girardi's ball club is trying to find a way here in the final day. And a check swing somehow hit the bat and is a foul ball, 2-2.
Yeah, Nolan's having trouble with that slider, and of course he's not the first guy. That's the lowest batting average of any of the numbers against Michael Pineda, and it's a good one. And again, he's so big, very easy windup. Severino also very, just basically
towards the middle, base hit. Gregorius diving, could not get to it. Reimold leads off the third with a single.
What we've seen with Nolan Reimold, and of course Pineda's going to kind of shake his head because he finally gets a ball up, and Nolan just slaps it back up the middle. So finally a hittable pitch, doesn't swing through it, puts it in play. Boy, so many good things can happen with 2 strikes if you make contact.
So the Orioles get the leadoff man on, hit number 4 for the Orioles in the ball game. Here is Parra. He scored after picking up a 1-out single. Now a 4-game hit streak for him, 7 for 10 in this series against the Yankees. And he'll foul that one off, turned it right over in the dugout, to which all of his players say, hit it out there, hit it out there.
Yeah, Dario Alvarez. Of course, that ball almost hit him in the back leg. It was so far down and in, and he just hooked it.
0-1 count on Parra. You get a lot of help from your teammates on those kind of plays there.
Yeah. Well, direction you need. You need guidance sometimes, and they're willing to give it.
Reimold back to the bag. Manny Machado waiting on deck. It's now the Royals leading the Twins by a score of 5-0. So they're on their way to clinching the American League home field advantage.
And they know. I think anybody that's ever been in the postseason knows how big that is.
0-1 pitch on the way, little tapper foul.
It doesn't mean, and we've seen teams overcome that, but all you had to do is come here for the. Not that it worked against the Royals, but it certainly did against the Tigers. You get 45,000 people. As long as you can control your emotions, it's kind of like having the 12th man if you went to Texas A&M. You just know they're going to make it more difficult for the other team to win.
Reimold off first base, 0-2. And a swing and a miss. That one got buried down low. There's the second strikeout for Pineda.
So a single to left, and Pineda says, well, I'll just use my changeup, and it's a good one. Again, 2 strikes, he just bounces it. That's what you were talking about earlier. How about Phil Hughes last year, and then of course Cliff Lee. Iwakuma pitched the no-hitter against the Orioles. Price, one of the premier pitchers, and then Pineda.
Our Express Stat by Express Care, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com. Manny Machado flied to right. His first time up. So he's now 5 for 12 off Pineda as he continues this tremendous down the stretch run with all kinds of power being displayed. Not a big lead for Reimold. And a swing and a miss, throttle back to 84 on that one. Pineda with the 0-1 count. For Machado here in the final month of the season, hitting .253. Picking up the home runs. 0-1, runner goes, hit and run on, run and hit, foul back.
Yeah, Nolan doesn't steal a lot of bases, but certainly has enough speed. Got a guy that can handle a bat. As we mentioned, only 21 walks from Pineda. Great. If you're going to ever run and hit, or hit and run, whatever you want to call it, and right there he takes a look because that's what it was. Just in case it's lined, or kind of pick it up. Don't run yourself into a double play.
0-2 count. And a swing and a miss. Pineda went away and got him.
Well, he's so big at 6'7", 6'8", and then the slider never starts sliding. It appears to be on the plate, and then it isn't.
Here is Chris Davis. Chris Davis with a double in the first inning. 2 RBI single by Wieters would bring him home along with Parra. Pitch will be taken up high. Chris looking for that home run title.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Fastball gets hit the hardest. Slider the lowest. Change up. Well, again, obviously the fastball higher than you'd want, slider exactly where you want, even though that is kind of what Matt Wieters hit for the 2-run single. Now Davis hit a fastball up and in, really put a good swing on it for his double.
1-0 pitch to him, big cut and fouled off McCann.
Yeah, that's home run territory out over the plate to Chris Davis, especially in the middle of the plate.
Chris with the 45 home runs. Cruz has 44. Mike Trout and Donaldson each have 41. Donaldson the RBI leader, 123. Bautista's got 114 and Chris Davis 113. 1-1 delivery, and Chris on a big cut on a pitch, kept down low at 84 again. Pineda's showing some off-speed pitches here in the 3rd inning.
Well, he's the master of movement with the change and with that slider. It seems like his fastball has a little different run. So again, a lot of stuff going on the mound, and he usually throws it somewhere close to being a strike.
1-2 foul. Big crowd on hand, not as big as it would have been obviously if the Orioles were heading post or if the game mattered in that regard, but still nice crowd here in the final Sunday. See the Orioles and the Yankees play. And a souvenir. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Chris. 5 home runs against the Yankees this year. And the pitch up high will be away and up. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Davis. Chris in slugging ranks 6th coming in. He's 3rd in extra base hits on the year. 4th in walks. He's been on base a good deal. 2-2 delivery on the way to him, and a nasty pitch down and in. McCann will put the tag on. 4 strikeouts, 2 in the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on, 3 complete. Orioles up by 1. Brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by your local Mercedes dealership. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer on the 62-degree day here at Camden Yards, and we thank all of you who have been part of the broadcast, part of the outpouring here for the ball games all year for the Orioles. A couple of other notes on this final day. Cleveland Indians are trying to win one for the skipper today. If they win, they'll ensure Terry Francona's 11th consecutive winning season as a manager. He had a winning record each of the 8 years with the Red Sox and the first 2 with Cleveland. Now trying to add another year to that. They are 1-1 in the 3rd inning. Bird a double and scored in the 2nd inning. RBI by Ackley on a ground ball out for the Yankees. 4th inning. 2-4-0 for the Orioles. 1-3-0 for the Yankees. Tillman's pitch popped up in the air outside of third and into the seats. Cubs have won 7 straight. They've allowed only 8 runs, 3 shutouts in those 7 games. And if they can win, they'll tie the Giants of 2002 for the National League record of the longest winning streak entering the postseason. Tillman with the 0-2 delivery to him, way up high.
Yeah, of course, the dilemma for them is to play with Joe Baden's first year that well and then have all come down to 1 game.
Yeah. For the Cubs, if they win and the Pirates lose, they will host the wild card game at Wrigley. How about that?
And it will be Garrett Cole, no doubt, against Jake Arrieta.
2 ball, 2 strike count on Bird. And a swing and a miss. Tillman back at 81 on it.
Yeah, he doesn't like it where it ended up. I mean, it fools him. It's a changeup, supposed to be away, pulls it in. Check out where Wieters is sitting. So again, it's effective. Of course, Bird did score the first run. Hit a fly ball right down the line. This time swings right through the changeup.
Chase Headley grounded out his first time up. Pitch on the way to him, and that will be in there for a strike. Here you see the Cubs. They do have the lead over the Brew Crew, 3-1 in Milwaukee, finishing up their season today. So maybe Wrigley gets postseason game. And the pitch away. The other thing, of course, in this day and age, with the postseason not starting till first full week in October, is the weather.
Oh, yeah.
It can make a real difference on where you play weather-wise. 1-1 delivery, and that'll be foul the other way. 1-2.
Yeah, sometimes you get some nice, not balmy, but those nice fall days, and then sometimes, like one of the World Series we played in against the Pirates, coldest 5 days in the history of baseball, it seemed.
1-2 delivery down to first is a foul ball.
And then by the time you got to games 6 and 7, it was actually very playable.
This year, with the teams that could go along Toronto, of course, you got the Dome, so that's going to be great. It'll be ideal conditions there. Yankees, you know what the weather can be like in New York if they go any distance. KC, it can be, and it was cold there last year for the World Series. Teams out of Texas, pretty good shape when it comes to the weather. The Mets, there you go with the New York weather again. The Cardinals, that can be a little chilly. And the Dodgers, that usually is pretty good.
Yes.
So there you go. Pick your site. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and swing and a miss over the top, foul tipped, held on to by Wieters.
Well, the one thing we've seen, we talked about the low batting average on the changeup. So Bird strikes out on the changeup. Headley strikes out on the same pitch, and he throws this one, I think, again, maybe not exactly where he wants to throw it. But for Chris Tillman, you know, he's pitched now enough where he can get by without his best stuff. Of course, he'd like to have them score him a few more runs.
Dustin Ackley up. Ackley, an RBI and a ground ball out. Lone run scored so far for the Yankees. Orioles have the 2 RBI single by Matt Wieters. 1-0 pitch by Tillman. That's in there for a strike.
Yeah, he's a big acquisition because you know, Stephen Drew has always kind of been a mystery, hitting a little bit over 200, but he hit 17 home runs. Hit pretty well with runners in scoring position. And he was playing second base until he got the cold, the concussion-like symptoms. So Ackley will most likely, with Refsnyder, who we saw yesterday with a couple of hits, young player, that might be their second base platoon if they go deep into the playoffs.
2 ball, 1 strike count. And that one will be fouled off the other way. Well, the Orioles come in knowing they're not going to finish last. They could finish at 500 with a victory here. They've done well, pretty well against the East. They're 38-37. Yankees 9-9, 11-8 against Boston, 10-9 against Tampa Bay, 8-11 against Toronto. That one on the button to center, going away from Reimold. He's not going to get it, and it will get by him. Ackley's thinking about 3. He'll get there easily. Throw in by Reimold. It is a stand-up triple for Dustin Ackley.
Now he hits a knuckleball. Sometimes the ball, you hit it so square it'll knuckle. So you can see Reimold over. The ball starts to look like it's going to hook, then kind of knuckles by him. Kind of an aborted dive. I would imagine it might have been close to a triple anyway, but the minute he goes down, you know there's going to be an extra base. But there are 2 outs.
3 triples on the season for Ackley. So Gregorius will get a chance to tie it up. A double in the second inning. Tillman needs only 1 more out. Leave the runner at third. Keep the lead. Pitch to Gregorius. Up and away. 3 hits, 6 at bats off Tillman for Didi Gregorius. Only a .228 average against the Orioles this year.
Yeah, the double on a changeup, and it was a pretty good one. He just went down and got it.
1-0 pitch to him. Fastball's there for a strike.
Yeah, one of the big thing. Well, there's a couple of things that Chris Tillman, who started out 2-7 and then would win 6 in a row, and then of course struggle again to get to 10 and 11, as he moved over on the rubber and he's throwing more 2-seam fastballs. Gives him a little bit more movement.
1-1 delivery on the way and could not hold up on that. Check swing strike. Gregorius ended up with a pitch so far down, even the 9-iron wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, you needed a lob wedge on this one. Overhand curveball, 12-6.
Tillman gets ahead of him. A ball and 2 strikes. Chris with 2 walks, 4 strikeouts so far. Ackley at third. One-two delivery on the way, and it's up high to him. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Ackley trying to get it tied up. Each team's got 4 hits in the ball game. Two delivery on the way to him, and another one up. So 3-2. Didi Gregorius with the leadoff batter Ellsbury on deck if Gregorius can keep the inning alive for the Yankees. Ackley down there at third. Potential tying run. Full count. Do it again. For Gregorius, this will be pitch number 7 from Tillman in this at bat.
Well, we know what pitch he could throw to get him out. That was a curveball. It just doesn't get it over as much as some of his other pitches.
3-2 delivery. Check swing. Did he go? No.
Oh, my goodness.
The Orioles were leaving the field.
Yeah, as they should have. Can't get upset about it because you can't do anything about it. But he swung. So a break for the Yanks.
So rather than getting off the field, it's first and third with 2 down.
Yeah, didn't throw him a curveball, but threw him a good slider, and it looked like the bat traveled far enough, except the only guy that really mattered, and that was Mr. Molesky.
So Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury is 0 for 2. He has flied out, struck out with 2 down, and the pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. Another big at bat here in the ball game as the pitch count rises for Tillman. 2 away here in the 4th inning. Trying to get his 11th win, go 11-11 on the year. 0-1 pitch on the way to him, and another one that he buried down low, and Ellsbury went after.
Yeah, really good quality curveball. Again, right off the table. It was almost like Wieters gets crossed up. Look him go up and then down.
And bounced.
And if your catcher can't catch it, if he knows it's coming, and I assume he did, even though it didn't look that way, you know, it was a good one.
Ellsbury against the Orioles, .317 lifetime hitter. 0-2 delivery on the way to him, and he'll take that. Tillman tried again to get him to chase a pitch and would not do it. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, he's a tough out, and he always has been for the Orioles because he can spray it all over the place.
85 strikeouts, 35 walks, 450 at bats. First and third. 1-2 delivery. That'll be a roller to first. Davis coming off the bag, and there's the out. Good job by Tillman. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Orioles lead it 2-1. Gone very well, thank you very much. In 2014, according to Forbes magazine, MLB marked its 12th consecutive year of record industry revenues. 2014, an all-time high exceeding $9 billion in revenue. And this year will go well above that. Forbes magazine saying they believe the preliminary numbers indicating it will be a $10 billion revenue year for Major League Baseball. Alrighty then.
I just couldn't come up with a segue to that.
You can't?
No, it's just good for them.
If you care about business, baseball, sports, revenues, etc., it's a great article. Ground ball fouled off by Wieters. Because what they go through is where the revenue is coming from, because your first look is, well, where the heck is the money coming from? And then Forbes goes through the deals, long-term deals, Major League Baseball has entered into corporate-wise, advertising, and pretty amazing. 0-1 pitch. Wieters will take that one for a strike. Matt delivered the base hit in the first inning, bringing home Parra and Davis. And Wieters has given the Orioles the 2 runs, and they've held up since the first inning, a 2-1 lead. Pierce and Clevenger will follow for the Orioles against Pineda. No walks, 4 strikeouts with a right-hander. And the pitch taken up high. Pineda coming off that loss in Boston, 7 runs, 7 hits, 6 innings. Pitching much better than that so far here against the Orioles in his last regular season start. At a career high 12 wins and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, he just wants to be healthy again. Only 26. Seattle wanted some hitting. They got Montero, but he hasn't really hit as well. He's no longer with them. And then Yankees, you would have thought, because Pineda was about 23, All-Star, his first year in the big leagues, and then all of a sudden shoulder problems. So just to be out there. Now, obviously, he would like to win because they would like to go to New York, have an off day,
play
at home, where they have good home record.
Pitch is just a little bit off. 3-2.
Mark Wagner has a very, he's a hitter's umpire. Because the close ones aren't going to the pitchers today.
Crew chief behind the plate for the final game.
And it doesn't mean he's not a good umpire. It just means that's his strike zone.
Yep. Here's the 3-2 delivery by Pineda off speed. Will be fouled off. One game is already completed today. Believe it or not, there was a doubleheader. Cardinals and Braves had to make up a ball game. Braves beat the Cardinals in game 1. It is not a meaningful ball game for either team in terms of affecting the postseason. Cardinals are going to go. They're going to go wounded. 3-2 pitch on the way and a little chopper foul. Well, the count will stay 3-2 on Wieters.
Yeah, we saw Matt do that yesterday off of Ivan Nova. He just served one into left. And, right there, it just when he gets the front foot down, and there is Ivan coming off the Tommy John surgery. He's sitting with Luis Severino, their young flamethrower.
3-2 is going to come back towards right. It'll fall in the gap. He's going to go for 2. Here's the throw by Beltran and a double.
I tell you,
did I see a hook slide? Hallelujah.
Well, he's not going head first. Boy, it looked like Beltran. I mean, again, we had so much rain, the ball almost stops like it does on the green sometimes with backspin. Beltran looks like he's going to have a chance to throw him. He circles it, but he is 38, makes a good throw. And then Matt to the inside part of the bat. Not out by, or not safe by much, but safe enough.
So Matt Wieters 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, picks up the double. Beltran had to come in, as Jim said, in back of the divot to pick that one up.
Kind of circled it.
Yeah.
I still thought he had a good chance to throw him out, but he hustled a double. So Steve Pearce with nobody out, you got to take a shot. You got to shoot a ball to right like Headley did.
Steve Pearce will take the pitch, and it will miss for a ball. He popped out his first time up. For the Yankees, 0 for 5 already in this game. The Orioles, the 1 for 1. Steve Pearce getting the chance, 243 in these situations on the year. 1-0 count. Orioles now 5 hits to the Yankees 4. 1-0 delivery. Again, the off speed got him to go after it.
There you go.
7 to right.
So not comfortable. He's a pull hitter. Dead bred pull hitter. And that translates into power numbers.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, fouled off. And that, of course, translates into a bigger slice of the $10 billion pie.
It can. Well, we just showed you Scott Cobain. He's well aware that, for you to hit at this level and have a higher average, and the league adjusted to Steve Pearce. He had one of those career years, 291, 21 home runs. You pitch him a little different when you know a guy pulls the ball, but when you can shoot it to all fields, you're just a tougher out.
Wieters off second base, 1-2 delivery to Pearce. He got one to pull and just missed.
Yeah, he also got one that stayed up, and that's when he becomes a very dangerous hitter. So Pineda gets away with a mistake. About 6 inches from another double. And he just hooks it enough. Look at the hit, hook, and actually a little farther than 6 inches, but
close.
Certainly close enough.
Home and road about the same for Steve this year. 216 home, 223 on the road. 7 home runs at home, 8 on the road. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Wieters with a leadoff double. Edging off second, Ackley holding him a bit anyway, and the pitch is down and away.
Yeah, and Pineda saying, well, okay, I'm going to get a leadoff double, down by a run. Where can I strike him out? A little harder to try to hit that ball to the right side with 2 strikes. Larry Rothschild, the Yankee pitching coach, looking on.
2-2. Pineda slowing the pace down here with a runner on, long time through the signs. And wants to do it again. Too long for Pearce, who steps out. 2-2 delivery on the way to him, and that one is going to miss. So he goes 3-2 on Pierce. Capuano's up in the bullpen.
Yeah, long man, former starter, and then you really have your core four out there. Adam Warren, part starter, and then you get the Justin Wilson, Betances, who the Orioles saw yesterday and beat, and then closer Andrew Miller.
7th pitch of this at bat to Pierce. 3-2. Loops it in the air to left field. Gardner. Wieters will go back to the bag. And there's one away here in the 4th inning. Make every day game day when you order the official Orioles Maryland license plate featuring the popular cartoon bird. The plate, a great way to support Orioles reach in the community, with proceeds going to the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Visit Orioles.com/plates and reserve yours and show off your Birdland pride. Steve Clevenger grounded out his first time up. A 1-for-9 for the Orioles designated hitter. 1-for-9 in the series against the Yankees. 2-for-14 on the year coming into this game versus New York. Not a lot of at bats. And the pitch will miss inside.
Now, we were having kind of a hitting discussion during that rain delay on Thursday. What about 3 hours? And Al Bunbury, former Oriole, one of my teammates, and we were talking about Dean Albany, of Orioles scout, was in there, who actually coached Steve Clevenger in youth ball here. We were talking about playing pepper. Remember a couple of years ago when Mark Reynolds was here, Buck Showalter said maybe that would help him. And I said, yeah, we used to do it all the time. And Dean Albany said one of the reasons that Clevenger does make contact, he struck out about 12 times and almost 100 times at bat, is because that's what one of the things they used to do. So you kind of know where the bat head is. You watch enough games, you figure, I'm not sure they always know that.
2-0 pitch to him will miss, so he falls behind 3-0. Plus, it's fun.
Well, it's fun. I mean, pitchers used to do it, and
broadcasters used to do it.
Yeah. It would be even more fun
with Jerry Royce.
Yeah. In
Chicago, and he loved hitting line drives at me right in the chest, which I've never forgiven him for. Nevertheless, Jerry,
wherever you are.
Steve Clevenger, a 3-0 count, runner off second, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Taking all the way was Clevenger.
And then, of course, Al Bunbury, who works with youth baseball here in Baltimore, said that's one of the things, some of the drills they do, just to kind of know where the bat head is.
Great reaction for defensive purposes too. Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way. Try to ladle that one.
Yeah, that's a little bit of. That's not the pepper swing. That was maybe an extra base. We saw him do it on a curved ball game 1. But again, one thing about Pineda, very rarely does he throw something that's straight. It's always moving or running.
3-2 delivery to him, then fouled it away. Good news out of Boston today. John Farrell doing well in his battle with cancer, and the Red Sox have made it clear to him he's back next year as manager. Torey Lovallo is going to come back as the bench coach.
Yeah, Torey, very respectful, would not even, you got to go talk to him in the coach's room.
Yep.
He's never even went into John Farrell's office during his recovery.
3-2 delivery, and Pineda comes back to get him. That is strikeout number 5.
Well, even if you play pepper, it's hard to hit that slider. Went back again. This is the 223 average, and you can see why. It starts in the middle of the plate, and you think it's going to stay there, and look at the ball just dive down and in. And part of that is you get on top of it, you're 6-7, and the ball just doesn't stop breaking.
So now Wieters on at second base, 2 down. He had the leadoff double. Diamondbacks have regained, have taken the lead 2-1 over the Astros. J.J. Hardy lined out to center first time up. Hardy 258 with runners in scoring position. Wild card race. There's what is at stake today. The Yankees are going to go, but will it be the Astros or the Rangers that they'll play, and who's going to be that secondary team in there?
Yeah, because if the Rangers lose, they'll have 75 losses.
Yep. Really is phenomenal. To have a wild card race open, maybe not too surprising, but to have that Western Division of the American League still up for grabs.
Well, the team that obviously Houston, nobody expected them to play as well as they have. The Angels, with pitching problems, it's been a little bit of a struggle. Great offense, but the surprise team with all the injuries has been even the Rangers.
1-1 pitch is there at the knees. Right now, Texas has the lead over Houston by 1 game for the American League West. Joe Girardi's ball club.
Yeah, and that's
guaranteed
nice
wild card.
Yeah, that's a nice matchup with what Cole Hamels was pitching for the Rangers.
Angels leading the Rangers 2-1.
And that's Garrett Richards pitching for the Angels. He's their biggest winner at 15.
And that ball down the line will be foul.
Hamels had won 6 of his 7 decisions since coming over from the Phillies.
If the Astros can win, they guarantee it'll either be a wild card berth or a tie for the West title if they can win that ball game today. 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Hardy trying to get Wieters in. Leadoff double for Matt. He's been out there ever since. 1-2 pitch will be up high. Pineda trying to keep it a 1-run game.
So let's see. I was reading one of the articles down in the Houston paper. So if the Astros win and the Rangers lose, there could be a 1-game playoff.
There is a potential for a 1-game playoff.
There's so many different scenarios.
If there is a tiebreaker, it will be played in Arlington. Rangers won the season series against the Astros. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. And stepping out, Hardy. Pineda again really slow here with runners on base, with Wieters getting it leadoff double. Ground ball to the middle off the mound, and it's going to go through. And Wieters will come in to score. And the battle is won by J.J. Hardy, an RBI single in a 3-1 O's lead.
And here comes Joe Girardi. So again, J.J. playing with a torn labrum. Hurt it in spring, but trying to gut it out through the year. Lines a nice hole up the middle. And with two outs, Wieters off on contact, scores easily.
No, Pineda is out of there, and he'll leave. Could be the losing pitcher.
In the first inning, 1 here in the 4th. Girardi goes to the bullpen, so you can see a few less fastballs, a few more breaking balls. And then our AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T mobilizing your world. So Chris Capuano, Orioles have seen him over the years. You know, strike thrower, fastball, curveball, and then a real good changeup. So he's been up and down, what, 3 or 4 times this year. And with injuries, started down at AAA Scranton with 6 starts. Well, again, a little bit higher. You can see lefties. That's a high number. Not that he's you know, it's right over kind of 3/4, almost over the top. So not a real deceptive guy, but certainly been around enough. He knows how to pitch.
Capuano against the Orioles this year has only worked 2 innings and given up 1 hit. Runner on at first base. There are 2 down. Ryan Flaherty flied out his first time up. J.J. Hardy, the RBI, on at first base. Capuano's delivery on a check swing is a strike. Ryan Flaherty a 1 for 5 off this left-hander. So the Orioles extend their lead as they picked up 6 hits in the ball game and get it back up to 2-run lead for the second time. Flaherty, the 0-1 delivery, and up the middle, bounces to second base and into right field. Flaherty is on, going to third is Hardy. Flaherty goes to second. Wow, what a pinball hit that one was.
Yeah, and I imagine, in fact, I hope he's going to get a hit.
Should be a double.
Yeah, it's a BB. And right off, I don't know if it gets Capuano on the foot. Looks like he tries to give a kick save. Boy, and then the spin. Ackley comes in and ball spins right by him. Boom. There goes the left ankle. There's the spin. Just takes a really kind of a right turn to Ackley. Seems like it went straight left.
That'll break the 0 for 20. It's a 2-bagger. Nolan Reimold's going to get the intentional pass, which will load the bases for Parra, the left-handed hitter. So the Orioles with a run in. Wieters had that double to lead it off. 2 down, Hardy single. Now the Flaherty double. And Nolan Reimold drawing the walk. First walk the Orioles have had in the ball game. And a bases loaded opportunity will be given for Parra, a hot hitter. There he is. Geraldo Parra right now in the lineup along with Machado, 2 hottest bats, especially in this series. So the sacks are full and the Orioles a chance to put up some numbers here with 2 down. Parra had been hitting really well, up 293 with Milwaukee against the left-handers. Has not kept those numbers up against left-handers with the Orioles. We'll see which side of the season against lefties comes forth here.
Yeah, only a couple of at-bats against Capuano. And
bases loaded. There are 2 down. This season, 2 for 6 with the bases loaded for Parra. Fouls that one off the end of the bat. Parra hitting 182 against left-handers with the Orioles, so about 100 plus points lower than he had with Milwaukee.
Brian Mitchell, the hard-throwing right-hander.
Parra's had 6 hits, 11 at bats in the series, 3 RBIs. Capuano with the sacks full and 2 down. The 0-1 to Parra is going to be outside on the sweeping breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oriole fans rocking it here at Camden Yards, and they'll rock it even more if Parra can find a base hit. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and same pitch, same result, 2-1.
So you know what he's going to sit on. You know, he may get a breaking ball, but you hit off the fastball. Yeah, he's not a hard thrower. And then again for Gerardo, it's pretty much use the middle of the field. If he hangs a slider, it's going to speed up the bat. And maybe you drill one into the gap or down the right field line, but back up the middle. I mean, the pressure is on Capuano. He's got to throw a strike, get back into the count.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. Parras rips one into the seats. Colorado Power.
I don't know if he hurt his arm
one to hit.
Not.
Yeah, either that one really stung or he twisted a hand or something there. The whole right up shoulder.
Either that or he's just, I mean, it's 88 right down the middle and he just was late on it. Maybe it's just the fact that he didn't get to a pitch that he was looking for. And right there it starts hurting.
2-2. And up the middle, he's got a base hit. Hardy scores. Flaherty scores. Throw to third. Not in time. Back to second. Got him at second base. Although the Orioles may take a look at that, it matters that they got the hit. It'll be a single and 2 RBIs. Geraldo Parra with a big hit. Then on the throw, close play at second base. Gregorius putting the tag on. The Orioles are taking a look at this.
Well, you know, I think what happens, Gary, is the foot beats him and comes off, but I'm not sure he tags him, and when he does, that the other foot hasn't hit the bag. So obviously he's not out here, but he tags him way up on the leg, and I guess the difference will be, was that right leg on the bag, and can you have something to change it, because that's the only way. Otherwise the call on the field stands.
It's a 5-1 ball game whichever way this goes. Gregorius.
So he beats it. That's looked to me that foot might have gotten on the bag.
There's a challenge.
Yeah.
So Buck Showalter is challenging the call at second base. Marty Foster, who made the call, and Mark Wagner, the crew chief, will get on with New York. But either way, a big hit for Parra. Exactly.
You know, what he does, and you take another look at the swing, is that he does hang a slider late on the fastball right on it. So right there, it's easy. I guess if you called him safe, there would have been nothing to say that he was out. But it has to kind of have to reverse that logic to change the call.
What a series for Parra. Now has 5 RBIs in these 3 games against the Yankees. 8 for 12 in the series for the Oriole right fielder, as he has really mashed here against Yankee pitching. Parra on the year now with the 2 hits in this game is 11 for 24. 11 for 24 against the Yankees.
How many times have we heard about players that when you get traded, free agent year, you come over, you have a little bit of success, 5 home runs in 21 games, and then you try to be maybe a different player than you are. So I think that maybe that right foot is actually on the bag, and then again, Gregorius, a very good tag yesterday to get a call changed.
Gregorius has not clearly studied Tagology 101, though.
No,
because
you got to sustain it.
You got to sustain it. In fairness, Tim, he had the tough angle. The throw's coming from third, so he's got to get it and go 180 degrees around to make the tag, as he's displaying there.
And you have And Gerardo said, "I don't care what they say in New York. I was safe."
See, this is baseball. This is when you played on the dirt field when you were 10 or 11 years old, and you're arguing about the call at second base. Guy who made the tag and the guy who got there. Decision is out. So that will end the inning, but it is a big inning. The Orioles come away with 3 runs rather, on 4 hits, and leave only 1 on base. 5 1-0s. Of our crew in the truck, John, who's a TD, Sean and Ali on audio, Sean, Bob, Jay, Dave, Quentin, the video, Tom, Andy, Steve, Zach, and Gene on the tape, Lynn, who's got the graphics, Fred, Eddie, Mike are the ADs, our score bug, Leslie's got that, our utility, Andy, Kyle, Dan, and Phil, our tent manager, Drexel, engineer, Joe, and Neil. To the stat people, Kevin and Sean, who sat next to us all season long, our thanks. Our stage manager, Karen, who's got a smiley face next to her name because that's exactly what she is. The man who calls the shots, our director, Tim Walpert, and who puts this all together somehow, and only the good Lord knows how, Don D'Agostino.
The diva.
The diva. We thank all of you for the great help. And I've said repeatedly, having done national shows, international shows, this production not only matches up to, but is a gold standard for any of those productions that are put on in baseball. Gardner will take the pitch. It is inside. Gardner is flied out and struck out. So the Orioles putting a hurt on right now. 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Yankees a run on 4 hits and no errors. Chris Tillman, the 1-1 delivery on the way, in the air to center. And hauled in by Reimold. Gardner's retired. 1 away here in the top half of the 5th inning.
It's been a long inning, and then one of those days where a little bit cooler than you've had over the last 3-4 months.
A-Rod coming up, a walk, and he has grounded out. Takes the potency of the big bat down in terms of the game when you get that 4-run lead. And the pitch taken down low for a ball. Beltran will be waiting on deck. A-Rod this year coming in with a .224 average against the Orioles. Chris Tillman walked him the first time up, then got the ground ball coming back in the count in his second at bat. In a little bit, we'll brush him back 2-0.
Well, all you got to do is look. Tilly's just out of rhythm today. When he throws it, he recoils. He's coming back. Maybe it looks like he's having trouble with the footwork. Of course, Pineda a little bit taller, and of course, the more pitchers out there, more landing areas that can be disturbed. There's a nice pitch. So there, for a while, you didn't think you're going to get the strike. So he's been behind A-Rod all 3 times, and as you mentioned, walked him, but then in this count got him to hit a ground ball to Machado at third the last time up.
2-ball, 1-strike count on Rodriguez. Had him up in front of the 84-mile-an-hour pitch.
So again, he's moved over on the rubber. Do you get over your front side? See, and there he does, but look at that recoil. And that's a little bit unusual for him. And again, if your head continues forward, easier to make your pitches.
2-2 fastball up and away. Astros have come back, tied the ball game 2-2. They got a good one going.
A.J. Hinch, who manages, first-year manager down there, said it's very simple. All we have to do is win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy to do,
no.
but I mean, what he said is we're in control of our destiny. And
3-2 to Rodriguez, and did he go? No. 4th walk by Tillman. 2 of those have been picked up by A-Rod. Our PNC minor league report.
So Oliver Drake, we know how he's good. He got the pitch yesterday. Came in and pitched well. Michael Gibbons, he's done a terrific job. And not only, I mean, this is what they did in the minor leagues, but they both come to the big leagues, especially Gibbons, because he's had more opportunities. Outstanding. Certainly going to be an integral part of the Orioles staff next year if he stays healthy.
And the pitch taken inside. Beltran a single and a walk. Rangers have now taken the 3-2 lead over the Angels. If the Angels could get a win and Houston a loss, send them to a tiebreaker for the wild card. MLB has announced today the potential times for tiebreakers tomorrow. If it's the Astros at Texas, 3:35 game that would be on ESPN. Angels, if they have to play at Houston, 3:35. and that would be on ESPN. Whether or not that is going to be necessary remains to be seen. Either or.
Yeah, if the Angels lose, they're out. So that's pretty simple for Mike Scioscia and his crew.
Yep. And they are tied.
Of course, they were also down 10-8 and came up with 5 in the 9th. So you just never count them out.
2-0 count.
Wow.
We're actually seeing a couple of patches of blue sky. This is about as bright as it has been for the last week with the storms and the rains and the winds. It's actually brightened up here midway through this ball game. 3-0 count. Runner on at first base. A-Rod. Infield shifted around. Beltran, the green light, will rip it foul. Not that much foul. He hit it hard.
Well, you talked about, I mean, Carlos has been their best player over the last 3.5, 4 months. If you're Joe Girardi, they're not getting any hits with runners in scoring position, so give him the green light. And he has a good swing, just rips it foul. You know what you're going to get. 5-1 lead, you're going to get that fastball, and there is the blue sky.
And that is in there for a strike. He knew it. And the count goes 3 balls, 2 strikes. A-Rod on at first base. McCann waiting on deck. The Orioles have the 5-1 lead. McCann trying to get this inning over, Tillman rather, trying to get the inning over with right now after your ball clubs just put you up. Ball in the air to left field. Pierce a long run over near the line. It's going to fall in, base hit. A-Rod will stop at second. Made a turn but will go back. So Beltran will pick up the dying quail to left field. And the Yankees get 2 on with 1 down here in the 5th inning. Pierce was pulled around to center, so that was a long way for him to go. Take a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers with McCann coming up.
Yep. As you mentioned, an 0 for 20. But he is going to lead his team in ERA. Some pretty heady company there. I mean, the Babe and of course Roger and Winfield, and then you get to some more recent Yankees, Reggie, Hall of Famers, as is obviously Babe Ruth.
Well, here's a big at bat. Yankees trying to get right back in it. McCann's gone 0 for 2. Pitch taken for a strike in the inside corner. 0-1 count, 1 down. There are the base runners, A-Rod and Beltran, neither with any speed. Yankees 0 for 5 in these situations today. Tillman works away to him. 1 ball, 1 strike count, and Tillman up to 91 pitches, so TJ's up too.
It's going to be everyday Eddie Guardado. The way he pitched on Thursday, 4 innings, came in last night, was terrific.
1-1 delivery by Tillman. Towering pop up towards left. Hardy's going out. Pierce coming in. Hardy wants it and has it. Big second out. Join the team and bring your big league dreams to life at the 16 Orioles Dream Camp beginning January 24 in Sarasota. Enjoy a week filled with baseball games at the Buck O'Neill Baseball Complex and the Ed Smith Stadium. Instruction from former O's and a full major league experience. Travel packages include hotel accommodations, flights, even your own Orioles uniform. For details, go to Orioles.com/Dreamweek. 2 on, 2 down. Greg Bird has doubled, struck out, scored a run, 2nd inning. Ground ball out by Ackley, scored him. Bird with a big cut.
Yeah, well, that's what he can do, and kind of intriguing thing. I look at him. I mean, he took Teixeira's place, or at least plays his position. He's hit a lot of home runs. Not a bad average. Pretty good runner and scoring position numbers, along with on base percentage. But he's a first baseman catcher. Where's he play next year?
Fouled away.
You know, and everybody I talked to said, well, maybe back to the minors. I mean, 11 home runs in what, 46 games?
Well, is A-Rod back next year?
Yeah, he has got 2 more years on his deal.
Teixeira back next year?
Yeah, his last year.
There you go.
And then he got Beltran for another year.
There go your positions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said, can he play anywhere else, like second base? He said, no. He's too big.
And got him out in front. Tillman gets his 5th strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Yankees lead 2 on. The Orioles lead at 5-1. Process of the Orioles' 15 downfall this season, however, it wasn't simply because Markakis, Cruz, and Miller departed. It's also how the club filled those holes that became so problematic. The replacements were part-timers or fringe big leaguers ill-equipped to take over the roles. From Dan and the Sun. Another pitcher coming in for the Yankees.
Yeah, hard thrown Brian Mitchell. Fastball, curveball, occasional changeup. I mean, get it up in the 97, 98 mile per hour range. So this will be his 20th appearance. And you can see high ERA because there can be some command issues. Walk every 2 innings. But one of those special arms. You can see righties hitting him a lot better than lefties. Yeah, I saw him come in the other day, Gary. First pitch was 97 for strike one. Went right to the curveball. I have no idea why. You know, he's a young guy, and of course, you know, you get a Murphy was catching that night, but then there's a breaking ball. So he just hasn't learned what he does best yet. But it's nice to have 97 or 98.
Yes. Place to go.
Yeah.
2-0 count on Manny Machado. Manny's 0 for 2. He struck out and flied out. Pitch will be in there for a strike.
And that's normal. I think a lot of, you know, you come up to this level if you're a young pitcher and get these scouting reports and you sometimes get away from what you do best, and you don't really sometimes don't even know what that is.
2-1 foul away.
But right there, 2-0 to one of the hottest hitters in baseball. You know, he throws him 2 straight fastballs, a little bit late on that one. And what would be the chances he's actually going to throw 3 in a row? Minimal.
Well, with McCann behind the plate, I would think absolutely minimal. Here's
maybe he's going to surprise me.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. Outside with it.
Yeah, but pulled it off the plate. So
Manny has gone 7 for his last 19. He has 5 home runs, 7 runs, and 8 RBIs over the 5-game stretch, including today. And that one he just protects on. That was a pretty good pitch.
It was.
That was coming in on him. Count will stay at 3-2, and that's what a good hitter does. Look, Showalter today before the game talking about MVPs in the American League, and he said, and legitimately for his own player, of course, but what about Manny? No question about the work Trout, Donaldson have done. 3-2 pitch, ladled. Has he got another one? Will it stay fair? No, it won't.
Well, you know, you talked about how good that breaking ball was on the previous 3-2 pitch, but that one was a hanger. And he almost hit his 36th home run of the season.
3 ball, 2 strike count still. Mitchell with a high set. That little windup and came inside, and it will be fouled off. Didn't intend to swing on that, but the ball came in.
No, that's a good running fastball. And Manny Machado's everything you want out of your #1 draft choice. You pay him over $5 million a year. And again, because you'd had some losing seasons, you get to, he was the 3rd player chosen back in 2010.
3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked him.
Well, that's what he was talking about, why he's a better hitter. He's only 23, you know, not a bad slider, but a ball, and he took it.
For the Yankees, Pineda started 4 runs, 6 hits over just 3 2/3. Capuano came on, worked only a 1/3 of an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits with a walk, and now Mitchell.
Well, their best bullpen guys are, as we mentioned, Warren, Wilson, Betances to Miller, and I think Joe Girardi's saying we're going to try to win this game, but I'm not going to do it with the guys that might have to help us win Tuesday, either at home or in Houston.
Big uppercut foul ball.
But at the end of the day, they could conceivably still get the home field advantage, even if they don't win, if Houston loses.
Yep. All of that.
And obviously you'd like to do it yourself, but you've still got to be prepared for Tuesday.
0-1 count. Shift on against Chris Davis. Chris a double, a run scored, and he is struck out. Infield double play depth and taken down low. Orioles have had a couple of big hits in the game. Parra with a bases loaded single, 2 RBIs. Wieters, 2 RBI single in the first. The other one coming on a Hardy RBI base hit in the 4th inning. Yankees have a run on the ground ball out by Ackley. That's the 5-1 score we have here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Davis down to first again off the end.
Yeah, the other story, I mean, it's a huge story. We talked about how the Rangers, but if Hamels ends up winning today, he'll be 7-1. So we talk about Price. He's made a difference in Toronto, but how about the difference Cole Hamels has done to the Rangers? And they got 6 players for him. And
trying to win
about the Phillies. Yeah. And he signed through 2018, so it wasn't just a rental.
Runner goes in the air, left field, back near the bullpen, and goodbye, home run into the bullpen. Chris Davis strengthening his chance to be the home run king of 2015.
Another one of those wow shots. Well, we had a quote yesterday. He gave a lot of credit to Scott Coolbaugh. When I first met Scott, he had Chris AAA. He was a minor league hitting instructor with Texas, and he said the reason he was better than Smoke, better than Moreland, the best prospect they had, even though he came into the Orioles in a trade, was because he could do exactly what he just did. And that's hit the ball to left center field better than anybody in their organization.
And a 7-1 Orioles lead. Matt Wieters will go down the line in left. Gardner going over and will not have a play.
I mean, check out the power to the opposite field. I mean, this is a running fastball up and away. He hits it. You can let the ball travel a little bit farther because you can see he hits it almost behind the plate. And it's a level swing with tremendous power.
0-1 count on Matt. Wieters will take it up high for Francis Homel, our Maryland Lottery contestant. That's worth $500. 46 home runs, now 2 ahead of Nelson Cruz for the home run title in the American League, and in fact the major league leader. Pitch taken away. Wieters already 2 for 2. A double, single, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. Matt with an 8-game hit streak that he will finish the season with. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Shift on in the infield. Wieters will take it up high for a ball. Diamondbacks have now gone up 3-2 in the 6th inning of their ball game. So the D-backs doing battle. You can bet a lot of scoreboard watching is going on. Houston now behind by 1 in Arizona. .46 home runs on the year for Davis. That ties him with Jim Gentile, 4th place on the Orioles single season home run list.
It's 20 more than last year.
Wieters on a towering pop-up going into the seats.
Yeah, I thought Michael Kay, we've talked about Chris Davis since beginning of spring training. Going to be a free agent or possibility to be a free agent as you look at what the Rays are doing at the Jays. And Michael Kay, who broadcast for the Yankees, said the Yankees always let guys play out their options, and then because they're not afraid to spend $200 million, $215, then they go sign them. It cost them more money.
Broken background ball, big hop, Bird. Wieters retired. Regarding Chris Davis, the young star Manny Machado said of his first baseman,
"You want to see him back. We need him back." And from the season we had, from going from Nelson Cruz to and losing Markakis and losing Miller, I mean, I think we got to do something. I think our top priority should be signing Davis back and then trying to get a couple more key pieces, trying to stay here as well.
Manny Machado and Chris Davis joining Adam Jones, who also spoke out publicly. And what the players are doing is they're trying to put a little heat on the organization. I mean, they're trying to make it clear where they stand, and obviously what comes after that is, well, if you don't do that, then what's Manny thinking about long term in Baltimore?
Yeah, and my point about what the Yankees, they don't have to, they make so much money, they are willing to spend so much money, they'll pay free agent prices to keep guys. other organizations, and maybe the Orioles need to do more of this. They need to preempt that by early on. I mean, again, it's easy to second guess, but when Chris Davis comes over and hits 33 home runs in 2012, his value was a lot less on the open market than it is when he then goes on to hit 53 and then now 46. So, yeah, you just, and Manny, Trout got a $144 million deal for 7 years or something like that, but he's tied up and he'll still be a free agent at age 29. So you can try to be creative. You could have done it with Chen. You could do it, Markakis a couple of years ago. You could have gone back, extended him a couple of years, and he maybe wouldn't have asked for 4 years. So there's all kinds of things. I just think you're always trying to be creative, and you're trying to, and at the end of the day, keep some of your better players. And Davis is certainly one of them.
Fouled away by Pierce. A lot of that, of course, is it's easy, and as Jim says, you look back and it's easy to say, well, gee, look what he's done, look what Davis has done, look what Chen has done. Did you have that faith in them, though, when they first came? And that's about scouting. That's about organizational discussions. And that's when you make the decision, and you're going to pay for it if you're wrong from the fans and on the field. And if you're right, you look like a genius. There is Pierce drawing the walk. So Steve is on as Mitchell has surrendered the 2-run homer to Davis in the inning. 3 of the Oriole 4 hitters in the inning have reached base. Clevenger coming up. He has grounded out and struck out. Joe Girardi on his way out. Girardi, as Jim says, this is tough because he's managing 2 games. He's managing this game and he's managing Tuesday's game. And trying to keep them both in order, and right now probably more concerned about Tuesday's game since he's trailing 7-1.
Out of Gilbert, Arizona, so he's kind of made his way up. Started the year in Trenton and then went down to their AAA affiliate in Scranton. 3-1 with a couple of saves. ERA very low. 4 runs in 33 innings. So not a lot of experience. One of those September call-ups. And then again, you look at the Jason Shreve, who's pitched real well. Still mystified that he's been struggling. Bezos comes on and in the last 3 years working his way. 13th round draft choice
out of the University of San Diego. Was the originally picked by the Diamondbacks and didn't sign. Yankees.
That's Brian Madison.
Pick him up. Yep. The Bezos on 10 appearances, only pitched 4 innings, couple of hits, so you can kind of see where Joe Girardi's going. That's not demeaning to Bezos at all, but this is now a game being managed to get through it with as little damage as possible to get ready for Tuesday. Clevenger is grounded out and struck out. Orioles have Pierce on at first base, and the pitch will be up high for a ball. Bezos, 24 years old. Orioles now 7 runs on 9 hits. Short lead at first base. Left-hander's delivery to him towards second. That's going to be a base hit. Clevenger's got a single. Beltran will play it in, and the Orioles have runners on at first and second, trying to put some crooked numbers up here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, kind of wondering maybe they faced each other in the minor leagues. So when you're throwing 94, that's what you're looking for. Ball 1, strike 1, BB. And they're hitting balls all by Dustin Ackley. Diving right and left.
Ackley's been all over the place, but not with the ball in his glove. Here is J.J. Hardy, RBI base hit. He scored in the 4th inning, 1 for 2 in the ball game. 2 on, 1 out, and the pitch is inside for a ball. Davis with a 2-run homer that came off Mitchell, who worked only a third of an inning. Walked 2. The hit was the home run. He's responsible for Pierce, the second walk, who's the lead runner at second base. 1-0 delivery, and that will be in there for a strike. One ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Orioles trying to finish the season with a 5-game win streak if they can put this one away.
I think the other factor, you know as well as I do, they don't want to be under 500.
Nope.
They did that for 14 straight years, and that stopped in 2012.
They've really played well against the Yankees here at home last year and this year. They are 6-2 against the Yankees here at Camden Yards. Joe Girardi's ball club has struggled in games played here for the last 2 seasons. Orioles were 7-2 at home last year against the Yankees. Down the line the other way.
Yeah, probably the most disappointing thing to me, other than, and I never really thought it made a whole lot of difference, is the road record at 34-50. And the fact they didn't, the pitching was pretty much not as good as you'd like, but pretty much even home and road. But the run, and you talked about it yesterday, over 5 runs a game here, and what, a 3.7 on the road.
Yep. Yeah, they won 46 games on the road last year and 34 this year, and Hardy got fooled. Yeah. And he's a strikeout victim.
Good breaking ball. Real good. It kind of slings it, so he's deceptive. I don't think you see it. And he certainly didn't see that break.
Bezos gets the strikeout. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Flaherty coming up. Ryan with a double in the 4th inning. He would come around to score. 1 for 2 in the ball game for Ryan Flaherty. 2 on, 2 outs. Infield shifts. Gregorius right behind second base. Flaherty takes the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
And to go back to my thought, I don't want anybody that was listening saying, well, they should just automatically send out Ryan Flaherty. But normally, as you work your way in Rule 5, you come right to the big leagues. Maybe you're a little prematurely. But when you get 450 to 500 bats in the minor leagues, and you're a real good fastball hitter like Ryan is, you learn about yourself. You learn to use the whole field, and it just makes you a better hitter. And he's never had that luxury. Doesn't mean he hasn't helped him play well, because he has. But it just makes him tough, and I think it's harder. Kind of like when you're pitching, you don't know what you need to do, and you don't know how to do it. When you get into those struggles, it makes it even harder.
0-2. Left-hander's delivery to him, and caught the inside corner. So Bezos comes on, gets a couple of strikeouts. The Orioles, though, are going to get 2 runs on a couple of hits. Davis, the big blow, his 46th major league leading home run. 7-1 O's. Kansas City team. And back on August 2nd was accidentally struck in the head by one of his home team players who was taking practice swings and passed away. On this day, all bat boys are wearing the Kansas City Memorial wristband in honor of Kaiser. And also the first annual Kaiser Carlisle Memorial 5K Run and Walk is being held in Liberal, Kansas. Headley will take it down low. That's a tough one.
No. Well, it's, you know, if you most of the guys on these field, that's where you started.
Yeah.
In Little League.
1-0 delivery on the way. Headley will put it up in the air to left field. Got pretty good wood. It's carrying back near the wall. Pierce is there. Headley's retired, and he is 0 for 3. So much to see and do. Beaches and islands of Sarasota and Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium. Siesta Beach is named the winner of the 2015 TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards for beaches. You can make your plans now. Just go to visitsarasota.org. Dustin Ackley at triple. Ground ball out that got an RBI. 6th inning. 7-1 lead. The Orioles have out hit the Yankees 10-5 so far. 0-1 delivery by Tillman. That'll go to left field. Sinking line drive base hit in front of Steve Pierce. So Ackley gets his second hit of the game. A 1-out single here in the 6th.
Yeah, he's actually done offensively a nice job for the Yankees. Again, with that Stephen Drew injury, they've needed somebody. Yeah, the defense, probably a better outfielder, which is why Seattle came up as a second baseman, but they moved him into the outfield.
D.D. Gregorius, a double and a walk in the ball game. And the pitch is taken for a ball by Gregorius. And that one is taken for his strike. Ichiro is pitching.
Is he?
How about that? 1-1. You never know what's going to happen on the last day. Ichiro playing for Miami. They're playing against Philadelphia. He is now pitching in that ball game. Philadelphia has a 6-2 lead.
Well, they just got another run, so he gave up.
I can't believe that. Ichiro's on the mound against the Phillies. They have it's a 7-2 ball game now. In the air towards the gap. Reimold diving and can't get it. It'll roll to the wall. Ackley with a late break's going to come around to score. Heading to third. Relay not in time. A triple for Gregorius and an RBI.
Yeah, that's a catchable ball. Windy day. Nolan Reimold comes across and then has to go back. Just did not get a good jump on the ball. It's not the jump. Watch him come sideways. Right about here. Now watch the ball go back. He's got to go back. So again, you know, you don't play a lot of center field, and he hasn't been doing that. But that's a ball that if Adam Jones, and he's been hurt, it's one of those routine fly balls he just kind of puts in his back pocket.
Chris Tillman, final appearance for the Orioles. Fans recognize him as he departs.
So again, there goes Ellsbury, not happy. Gardner down on a good fastball, nice changeup to Bird. And again, mixing up his pitches. Maybe not the best stuff, but had no idea what was coming to the Yankees. So a few less fastballs, a few more changeups, and then actually used the slider and the curveball. So a chance to win. T.J. McFarland will come on, and well, he's already won 2 games this week, so he would come in now to kind of be a setup guy with the Gregorius at third base with a 7-2 lead.
So with Tillman leaving, Jim, the Orioles are the only team this year in the majors that will not have a complete game. Out of there after 5 1/3. McFarland, runner on at third base. Jacoby Ellsbury at the plate, 1 down. Ellsbury 0 for 3. And he'll take the first pitch and pop it up. Hardy's got the angle. Wind blowing it. And a little collision. It's a fair ball catch made by Hardy with Manny Machado, and he colliding. That's a call, of course, by Hardy.
Now, better angle for JJ, and a lot of times you don't hear each other, and the little trip.
Don't need to have one of those kind of injuries on your last day.
No. You kind of save the trip for tomorrow when you go home or whenever. But they get the out.
Oof. In the National League, the Pirates and the Marlins are the 2 teams not to have complete games. The American League, the Orioles. I guess with Ichiro on the mound, they won't have a complete game there either, will they?
No.
Here's Brett Gardner 0 for 3. He has flied out, struck out. 2 down, runner at third base. And the pitch taken inside.
What we saw, and I was talking to T.J. McFarland, he's a sinker slider guy, and he had a changeup, but boy, his changeup was good yesterday. I mean, great movement, great depth, maybe a little bit harder. He said it seems to have been effective.
1-0 outside. Getting scouting reports on Ichiro, fastball 86. Really?
But you know what I found out, and when we went to Japan, we ran out of pitchers, and we had an infielder by the name of Jerry Devannon. Yeah. His son would eventually play for the Angels, and Jerry had a great arm, but he didn't know how to throw from a stretch, and that presented a problem when you're pitching, especially if they get on.
Run.
There's the veteran Andrew Bailey. But really, I mean, and Michael Gibbons for the Orioles. But yeah, I mean, that's when you really have an ego. You go, why work on the stretch? Nobody's going to get on.
Here you go. Have confidence. 2-1 pitch on the way. Runner off third. Breaking ball. He bailed out. Did not go around on that one.
But the other thing is, because Jerry Devannon ended up pitching, and the Japanese were offended because they thought we were actually trying to show them up. We just didn't have any pitchers. And then the fact that he didn't know how to throw from a stretch really complicated things.
So the Rangers ahead in their ball game, 7-2, 7th inning. They win. They clinch the West. Pitch is a called strike. Gardner was ready to head down to first base.
Yeah, I was talking to Kenny Singleton. He said, why does he strike out so much? He takes a lot of pitches, and that was one of the reasons. He thought it was a ball 4, and it wasn't. And he's willing to go to 3-2, but he would have preferred to make it 4-1 and head to first.
3-2 delivery on the way. A little tapper. Got to hurry it. Wieters knows it. And into the runner. Fine play by Davis. And slamming the helmet down was Gardner.
Well, that's all about not walking.
Yep.
And then he makes it out. Nice play by Matt Wieters. You already got a good angle, and then a snap throw, and then a little bit of frustration.
A run on a couple of hits. Orioles lead it 7-2. The Maryland Fire Chiefs and Maryland State Firemen's Associations. Email mdfirevolunteer@gmail.com to volunteer with your local fire rescue and EMS. 7-2. Fans enjoying a final day of baseball here in Baltimore and enjoying it to a 7-2 tune with the Orioles on top of the Yankees as they look to sweep this 3-game set, having swept the doubleheader yesterday. Bezos remains on the mound. Come on, got a couple of strikeouts to end that 5th inning. Reimold, leadoff batter. Intentional walk his last time up. He is singled and been called out on strikes. Pitch will be a fastball that'll be taken inside. So Nolan Reimold certainly will be a person of interest for the Orioles and their fans in the offseason. What is the future for Nolan?
Well, he's been able to stay healthy and obviously a better left fielder than center fielder. It's tough. You just have to cover more, and for him it's just getting out there. And not only does that show the team you're playing for that you can play and you can, I mean, he's had a couple of dives today and things like that. He's been hit by pitches, been able to stay healthy because he's had neck, the Achilles problem, a multitude of injuries.
Reimold will take it, and there is a 4-pitch walk. So the leadoff walk for the Orioles here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the March of Dimes. The O's have 416 walks for a total of $20,800. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Parra trying to continue his great final weekend with the Orioles. He's had 2 singles, struck out, 2 RBIs. And the pitch not where McCann wanted it to be, so he'll head out to the mound.
Well, when you throw 93 or 94, I'm sure Brian McCann is say, hey, pick up the glove and let's throw it over. So that's where it starts. And that doesn't mean they're not going to hit it, but at least you're giving your defense and your teammates an opportunity. But again, a young pitcher that's not pitching as regularly as he would like. Started the year apparently had some shoulder problems at the end of spring training, so that's why he started at Double-A Trenton and worked his way to the big leagues.
1-0 pitch, and that's going to be up high. Double-A Trenton didn't start till the 28th of May. He had a 1.86 ERA, just 9 2/3 innings, no decisions. Then went to Triple-A, 3-1, 2 saves. He had 37 strikeouts and 21 relief appearances. 2-0 count, delivery on the way and taken, and it is in there for a strike.
Well, just imagine you're Parr and you're standing at the plate and you got this 6'3", 6'4", 230-pound left-hander with a closed stance. In other words, his feet are closed. You don't see the ball, and then he kind of hides it and throws right over his front side.
Parr takes it in the air to left field. Gardner will make the catch, runner halfway, and Reimold goes back. Each Sunday home game this season, the Orioles and the Orioles Reach have donated a catered private suite to servicemen and women, part of the Military Appreciation Program. Prior to today's game, Zach Britton and Brad Brock met with the military members from Operation Homefront, thanking them and their families for their effort and work and what they do in assisting the military families. The Orioles do a great job honoring those who serve and have done that all year long. And we're going to get another pitching change here with Manny Machado coming up. Girardi does not want the left-hander on the mound. He'll match it up with the righty.
surgery. I missed some time this year. Started at A ball last year. Pretty much missed the whole year after having shoulder surgery in 2013. Fastball curveball pitcher. We saw him pitch the other night. Got roughed up by the Red Sox because the Sox are hitting everybody. But big fastball curveball. And of course came up with Oakland and immediately was one of the best closing All-Star a couple of times early in his career with Oakland, going all the way back to 2009.
Manny Machado with a runner on at first base and one down. Machado has drawn a walk and scored 0 for 2 in the ball game. Manny will take the pitch down low for a ball. First time Bailey has faced the Orioles this season, and Manny's had an 0 for 4 against Bailey lifetime. Bezos worked an inning, a hit, 2 strikeouts, a walk, responsible for Reimold at first base. 1-0 pitch on the way. Machado will take that one, scooped up by McCann, and a 2-0 count. Orioles have reached double digits in hits in the game now at 10. 7-10-0 for the Orioles, 2-7-0 for the Yankees.
Yeah, Andrew used to throw around 93, 94 against the Red Sox. He got a little bit of trouble. Big overhand curveball. They were able to hit a few of those. But he's into one of those dreaded 2-0 counts to a good fastball hitter.
Manny Machado will take the pitch. A little slurve outside, and the count is 3-0. So the Yankees, with Pineda not going very far, 3 2/3, 4 runs, 6 hits, now just scurrying through the bullpen, giving time to some of these pitchers who have not worked very much this year. Highly unlikely we will see any of their real good pitchers out of the bullpen. 3-0 delivery. Manny at the green light, puts it up in the air, shallow left field, long run. Gardner coming in will make the catch. Throw to first, not in time, hits the runner with Reimold getting back in.
Yeah, Gardner's playing deep, and he takes the drop step on the big swing, which is easy to get fooled on. And the ball's off the end of the bat. Watch him come get this ball like a sprinter, and then snap throw. Very aggressive outfielder. With Yankee Stadium, big left field.
Some fans standing as Chris Davis comes up, knowing this may be his final at bat as an Oriole. Big hand for him as he stands in. 46 home run came in the 5th inning, 2 RBIs, double in the 1st inning and scored, 2 for 3. Struck out in the middle at bat in the 3rd inning. 2 down, runner on at first base. 115 RBIs. Infield with 2 down, full shift on here. Speed delivery. Just drilled that one the other way and into the bullpen, right into the corner of the bullpen. The opposite field home run. Chris has had a few of those this year. 0-1 pitch to him. Wanted another one right there.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of like a little cutter slurve or whatever that Bailey throws. And Adam Jones. And
wishing he was playing, but the bad back keeping him out here in the final week.
Well, it hasn't been keeping him from talking, as we know.
No. Nothing known to mankind can do that.
Everybody comes down. Jonathan Scope says, I wish I was playing too. I wouldn't have to be sitting there. And he used to put cotton. Scotty McGregor would always put cotton in his ear so he didn't have to sit next to me and I'd give him a headache. So every time I see him now, he goes, cotton.
He patented that. Here's the 1-2 delivery to Davis, the other way fouled. You saw Houston's come back to tie the game, was on a wild pitch in the 7th inning. So Houston, a 3-3 game against Arizona. And for Girardi, scoreboard watching intensifies as his team looks more and more like this game is going to end up a loss, and the chance for the Yankees to clinch that home field wild card. They still could get it, but not going to do it via their own actions, it looks like. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that'll miss down low.
What, do you want to go to Houston where they're 53-28? And that's what's going to happen if Houston wins and the Yankees lose. Now the Angels are out of it if they lose.
What a day.
Well, it does. I mean, the wild cards, I didn't really know about them early on, but they have made the game much more interesting. I wish some of the years that we would finish second or third by winning 95, 97 games or 100 games one year, we didn't even get to the playoffs. It would have been nice to have one.
It's kept so many more teams and cities and their fans involved in the game. Chris Davis, 3-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down. Runner on at first base. Reimold not being held. Bird behind him. This will be pitch number 7 of this at bat. 3-2. Runner goes and walked him. Way inside by Bailey. Well, the Orioles go on here in the 6th inning, 2-1. Your favorite Orioles are back with their favorite dogs and cats. The 16 Orioles pet calendar, 16-month calendar, benefits Barks, Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. Calendars are available here at the ballpark at the Orioles team store in York, PA, or you can order it at Orioles.com/pet calendar. Matt Wieters double single, 2 RBIs, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Bailey with 2 on, and Wieters will take the pitch inside for a ball.
Yeah, Andrew's not really trusting that fastball very much. He's thrown a couple of them. And again, that's what shoulder surgery will do.
1-0 pitch by Bailey over the top of the strike.
Now there's one.
A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Matt, 270 on the year, raising that average with a good finish. 8-game hit streak. 2 RBIs added today. And fouls it back on a big rip. Other news came today. Cincinnati has announced that Brian Price, their manager, will be back.
Really?
Will be back. Seattle is not saying on Lloyd McClendon, but most people following the ball club believe McClendon is out. 1-2, 2 down. 2 on base here in the 6th inning. And try to catch that inside corner. 2-ball, 2-strike count to Matt. Showalter said today on the use of Matt Wieters not doing the back-to-back catching games. He said, "You'd have told me that's what we could have gotten out of Matt through the season, I would have taken it. He's given us more than we expected." Broken back ground ball down to first base, not hit hard at all. Bird will go to the bag and record the out. So the Orioles, unable to take advantage of a couple of walks, will leave 2 on base. We've completed 6 in the final game with the Orioles up 7-2. Orioles in the press box, left to right. Kristen, Jim, and Chris, who have assisted us so much this season and all the work that needs to be done. Television eats up material, and they help us get that material, interviews, etc. To Amanda, Jim, Elizabeth, and Jackie, involved in the Orioles PR, public relations, and community work. Thanks so much for a great season of help. 7-2 ball game as we go to the 7th inning. McFarland on in relief of Tillman. David Lowe has come on to play in center field for Reimold. So Lowe will move into that leadoff spot for the Orioles. Alex Rodriguez up. Rodriguez has walked a couple of times, and he has grounded out. McFarland's pitch to him will be on the outside. Ball one.
Yeah, small strike zone. I mean, again, if we talked about it yesterday, teammate TJ McFarland, when the Orioles got him as a Rule 5 guy, he was a starter. So they will be looking for people to assume that role, and started at AAA. And so when you look at these matchups, even though he's pitched a lot this week, this is kind of what you envision. How am I going to get the big sluggers out?
Rodriguez faced him only a couple of times and 1 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike count. A-Rod, Beltran, and McCann are due up in the 7th inning for the Yankees. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be inside. Tillman ended up 2 runs, 7 hits, over 5 1/3 for Chris. 4 walks and 5 strikeouts. Chance to win his 11th of the year.
Yeah, TJ came in and did a nice job. Runner at third with 1 out. They did not score. Takes an earned run off the board.
Out in front of that one. Weeder says, I've got it. Spins and makes a nice play.
Well, Gary, that was a changeup, and for TJ McFarland to take a step to be a starter, that's going to be an important pitch. You're in a fastball count, pulls the string. What does he do? He hits it off the end of the bat. You almost get a collision. So again, I mean, right off the end of the bat. Alex smells hit. Weeder says, nope. 1 out here in the 7th.
Here's Beltran, who's had a couple of base hits and a walk. 3 up, 3 on for him. And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. One-0 count. Cooling down. Here as sunset time approaches. 1-0 pitch on the way. Hit hard. Base hit. So he continues to be their most consistent hitter for the course of the season. A 3-hit ball game with singles in this one. The most popular way to follow the action of MLB playoffs is with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball. You can enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay, reviews, scores, and more. Get MLB.com at bat app now. Brandon Pinder for the Yankees in the bullpen. Here is Brian McCann. 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for 6 in the 3-game set. McCann hitting under 180 against the Orioles on the year. Lifts that one into the gap into right center field. Parra going over to get it. Stopping at second base. Beltran 2 on and 1 away.
Now you got to remember how much TJ McFarland has pitched. 4 innings on Thursday, 2 yesterday. So the bullpen looks like they're going to get up and get active. Brad Brock has had a very busy year. But like you said, no complete games. You're going to have a busy
happen,
bullpen.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So the Yankees have put up 9 hits. They have left 9 on base in the game. The Orioles have stranded 7. Greg Bird has struck out twice, doubled, and scored. Came in on a ground ball by Ackley, who got the RBI in the 2nd inning. First and second, 1 out. And that's on the outside corner for a strike. Gregorius with the triple in the 6th. Now the Diamondbacks, that score goes back and forth. Diamondbacks back on top, 5-3 over the Astros. Ball towards the middle, diving, can't get it. Beltran will come around to score. It'll be an RBI base hit for Bird. He's 2 for 4. And the Yankees, 3 of the 4 up in the inning, have reached, and it is a 7-3 game.
Yeah, Bird, as Buck Showalter was make his way out. For a young hitter, he certainly has a pretty good idea. He just slapped that low fastball right back up the middle to keep this rally going.
So McFarland will come out of there. He will work to 1 out here in the 7th inning, and the Orioles have Brad Brock coming on. By authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Harry Thorne and Jim Palmer with you on this final day. The Birds celebrating with the fans and some picture taking. 33,224, 33224 the announced attendance for this final game of the 2015 season. Brad Brock will be facing Chase Headley. Runners on at first and second base. 1 down, a run in here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and the Orioles looking 4 outs. Yesterday, Brad coming in and struggling a little bit with his command. That's always an issue, even if you have great stuff, and he certainly does. 3 quality pitches, fastball, slider, and then a very, very good changeup.
Headley 1 for 1 off him. Takes the pitch down low. Brock has worked 4 2/3 innings against the Yankees. He's given up 1 hit, no runs. 5 strikeouts against the Yankees this season. McCann on at second base. Bird on at first. Headley will take it. It is inside. Falls behind on him, 2-1.
Yeah, when you get a little tired, and that's what happens because he's been so active. We talked about the fact that he's been in 48. This is his 42nd appearance since early June, and he's been very effective. But if you think you get a little tired, you got to maybe try a little bit harder with your body, and then your arm always drags, and it's hard to get the ball where you want to get it.
We mentioned earlier Cleveland trying to give a win to Terry Francona. They did. Cleveland beat Boston today by a score of 3-1. So Terry Francona continues his winning ways. His 11th consecutive winning season as a manager.
Yeah, everybody anticipated that the Indians were going to have an outstanding pitcher. I mean, they had last year's Cy Young Award winner. They never really scored a lot of runners for Kluber, but all of a sudden they started really pitching well.
And that pitch is going to be away. Yankees trying to mount. Big inning. 3 ball, 2 strike count, 1 down.
Gary, they'll take a free pass if you give it to them. And those are some of the things they're looking for. And more chances of going 3-2, more chances of doing that.
3-2, and he did. He walked him, and they're loaded.
And I'm sure it's driving Brad crazy, not to mention, because this is not the way he wants to pitch. So you think you're going to make your pitch, and then you don't.
So the base is loaded in a 7-3 ball game. 10 hits for each ball club. And Ackley coming up. Ackley has doubled, singled, has an RBI and a ground ball, a triple singled, and an RBI and a ground ball out. So the Yankees' chance to get back in it here in the 7th inning, in front of them. And the fastball is going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, and they get a guy up, very much like Drew. We told you about Stephen Drew with his ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but out with concussion-like symptoms. 17. Ackley's a power guy.
0 for 1 to him. That's going to be there as well at the knees on the outside corner. 2 good pitches by Brad Brock, and gets ahead of him quickly. 0-2.
Now the one number that jumps out, we talked about it yesterday in the doubleheader, 7 for 58 with runners in scoring position. 121.
He's not had a bases loaded hit this year. He's 0 for 7. Won't chase. 1-2. Yankees have had only 1 hit in 10 at bats with a runner in scoring position today. They've not had a good series in that regard.
Yeah, 1 hit changes all that, doesn't it?
Yep. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be up and away.
Yeah, I mean, these pitches just, and you know Brad doesn't want to do it, but they're just not close enough. You know, trying to make that perfect pitch in the outside corner, and then of course the deeper you go, more pitches he gets to see, and it's harder to have to come back into the middle of the plate.
2-2 delivery on the way, had to come at him, and it will be fouled away.
Yeah, that's the good changeup.
Yankees in this series have had only 4 hits and 29 at bats with a runner in scoring position. They left 6 on in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday and 8 in the first one.
And the other thing they haven't done is hit a home run to this point.
2-2 delivery, and that will also end up foul. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch number 7 of this at bat will be coming up in a key moment in the ball game. And a short hit hard. Bobble by Hardy. They'll get one at second base on the force out to Flaherty. So they get one of the outs as ball was stung by Ackley.
Yeah, they all get pretty good reads talking about the Yankee base runners because, again, you know, you're going to score, you know, you're going to get doubled up. I mean, it's a tough play right here. And again, you do get one of the outs, but they do get a run.
RBI credited to Ackley to make it a 7-4 ball game. Now runners on at first and third, but there are 2 down. Gregorius has had a double, a triple, and a walk here in the ball game. 2 away. Defense goes straight up on him, and the pitch will be inside low for ball. So Bird and Ackley have picked up the RBIs here in the 7th inning. Bird, the runner at third base, Ackley on at first. 2 runs will be charged to McFarland, also responsible for Bird, the lead runner. 1-0 delivery. That is in there for a strike. 1-1. That is a final. So the Rangers have beaten the Angels by a score of 9-2, clinching the American League West. Congratulations to the Rangers, right down to the final day to get it. 1-1 delivery on the way, hard inside, and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
And then the Houston game is significant only the fact that if Houston loses, then the Yankees do get to play at home.
Yep.
And they're down 5-3.
2-1 delivery off the fist, back out of play. So the final settling in. No day up for the Orioles. Settling in of the postseason games starting to come about here. You see that is in the 8th inning with the Diamondbacks up and a Goldschmidt home run, a 2 RBI homer. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down and outside. Cole Hamels had a complete game today. He gave up only 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts.
Well, they got him for exactly that reason. 7-1, biggest game of the year for the Rangers after they imploded in the 9th yesterday, and he wins it.
3-2, and that ball's going to be popped up short. Hardy. He's got it, and Gregorius is retired. So the Yankees will get a couple, 3 hits. They leave 2 on, 7th inning stretch time one more time. Well, 7th inning stretch time, and the crowd doing just that, with the Orioles leading it by a score of 7-4. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, and for the O's, looks like a sweep of the Yankees. And while they would have wanted more, at least they may get that.
Well, if they win today, they'll win 5 in a row. The offense that went to kind of sleep in August for what, 15 of 18 games.
Yep.
Really the season.
Yep.
Yeah, we can look at the starting pitching. It wasn't as good, but they were so good last year. Maybe that was a little bit, I guess, unexpected to ask them to be that good again, but they could have been a little bit better. And I don't know. All I can say is it's great working with you and everybody here. And you know what? We'd like to go to the playoffs, but.
Yep. And my thanks to you and Mike Bordick.
The Bordick
had a great year. It was fun.
He was hiding on us today, but
he's around here. He's around the ballpark today.
He's always somewhere.
Yep. It was great fun, and the Orioles look ahead to an offseason that's really going to be intriguing. There's so many questions that the Oriole fans, the hot stove is going to be sizzling in that regard here during the winter for Oriole fans. That's good. It'll keep the interest up regarding the Orioles, and also there'll be a lot of fan input as to how they feel about decisions on players.
Well, the other thing is FanFest will be right around the corner.
It is early. Yeah.
Well, it just seems to. And, you know, the great thing, and you can see it here today, is about the Oriole fans. And, you know, having been here now, 50 years, you know how important your fandom is. And so at the end of the day, you know, it's a very loyal crowd. Obviously, there'll be some new faces here. Hopefully, you'll have maybe some of the more familiar faces that the Orioles have been able to put out on the field the last 3 or 4 years.
The Yankees will continue to shuffle their pitchers in. Here's Pinder.
Getting a little concerned. They only have 15 in their bullpen. So again, this is one of them. And Brandon comes in. You could see he's been up and down this year. And again, as you mentioned, they're trying to make sure that when they go again up and down. I mean, it was 6 times this year. Well, again, when you have options, that's what happens when you're a young pitcher.
Pinder will come on to work to the Orioles here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's his 25th appearance, all those up and downs, but he's worked only 26 innings in 24 outings, gives up a hit per inning. Opponent average at 262. Steve Pearce has drawn a walk, 0 for 2 in the game, 1 for 11 in the series. Steve will have Clevenger and Hardy to follow him here in the Orioles half of the 7th. Each team 10 hits, but the Orioles have the 7-4 lead. That ball's popped up outside of first and behind the dugout, no play. 0-2.
Yeah, California kid out of Cal State and then Long Beach College. Get that little wrap of the hands like Goose Gossage have. Start growing the mustache, young man.
Good luck. That's a tough competition right there with Goose.
Well, again, I mean, just watch him roll his hand a little bit. Kind of keeps that front shoulder in.
That one, a shattered bat. It'll go to short. Gregorius up. Pearce retired, 1 down in the 7th inning. That won the barrel of the bat all the way out to third base.
Of course, the Yankees hoping that maybe Pinder or one of their young pitchers will keep it where it is. 3 runs, certainly not insurmountable. The Orioles would love to add some.
That'll bring Clevenger to the plate. Clevenger's had a base hit, 1 for 3. Couple of hits, 11 at bats against the Yankees in the series, and that'll be fouled away. Bailey worked 2/3 of an inning, gave up a walk. Pesos worked an inning, gave up a hit, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Mitchell 1/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 walks. Capuano 1/3 of an inning, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 walk. 0-1 pitch all the way to the backstop. Michael Pineda still the pitcher of record for the Yankees, 3 2/3, 4 runs, 6 hits. He would be 12-10 with a loss. Tillman would go 11-11 if the Orioles hang on here. McFarland worked an inning, couple of runs, 3 hits. Brad Brock on for the Orioles. Let's see if he comes back out. Probably not, because the bullpen's still active. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery, and the other way foul. Victory, and the Orioles take the season series from the Yankees, 10-9. 1-2. Fans making some noise as the lights take effect here at Camden Yards. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to him, and again the other way and foul.
Well, that's that bat control that Steve Clevenger has. I mean, it's a curveball, stays up a little bit. What's he do? He just gets on top of it. It's a foul, but keeps the at bat alive. And again, if Matt Wieters moves on as a free agent, you would imagine it's going to be Caleb Joseph and Steve Clevenger behind the plate for the Orioles.
That one he got jammed on a little bit. Shortstop Gregorius. 2 down.
How refreshing to see Brandon Pinder come in and throw strikes, and they're good strikes. And then, you know, my stepson Spencer is autistic. He knows everything in the world about trains. His favorite team now is the Yankees AAA team because they're the Rail Riders.
Rail Riders.
The Rail Riders. That's all you got to do. Something with a railroad in it, and he'll be on board.
Love it. You'll be on board pretty soon.
Oh, going up to Durango Silverton for that historical train ride.
It's a great.
That's how you celebrate my birthday.
As you should.
Yeah. Well, we went a couple of years ago and we left Durango, and you go 43 miles up the Animas River. Beautiful ride. By the time we got up there, was about 4 inches of snow on the ground, and it's supposed to snow again on Wednesday.
1-0 delivery, and that will be taken down low.
So I think it's kind of mild here today, actually.
Compared to snow days in Colorado, yes.
And the other thing about Durango, California, that's where Colorado is. It's the home of Steve Carlton.
Yes.
Famed Hall of Fame left-handed pitcher.
And a very good ski area. Here's the 2-0 delivery. That ball blasted into the gap by Hardy. That's not going to be caught. It'll take a roll all the way to the wall. Played by Ellsbury. Hardy on his way to second. He's got a double and a 2-for-4 day.
JJ going finally. This is what I do. I mean, this is me. Watch him get on this high fastball. I mean, this is JJ. You know, again, he hurt his shoulder in spring training. Inadvertent dive for a ball. Front shoulder, too. That gets you to the baseball. But this is the JJ Hardy that hopefully will come to spring training healthy, stronger. Talked about it today. You mentioned it yesterday, Gary. Just let that shoulder heal and then got to get a little bit stronger and get ready for playing 150 games.
And Ryan Flaherty gets an RBI chance. Ryan a double, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Orioles 11 hits in the game. Bender's delivery. That'll be up high. Orioles are on the verge of being the last game played in the regular season. Everybody else is finishing up and ahead of us. Gee, what a surprise. 1-0 count, 2 down. Ball's going to be popped up third base. Headley. That'll do it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 7 complete. Orioles up 7-4.
Comes in, and again, one of the 6 potential free agents. What a job he's done for the Orioles. Orioles get him on waivers. Had the hip problem. But Joe Walter knew him from Texas, and again, done a terrific job. I don't know if he could pitch really a whole lot better than he's been able to do. Righties, lefties, dependable, multiple innings. And again, pretty much fastball slider guy, but he can make it sink. He can ride it. Glowing numbers. Incredibly low ERA. Doesn't walk hardly anybody. You know, 1 year, I guess, 2 years ago, maybe lefties hit him at 300. That was an aberrational year.
And Darren saying, I hope they'll have me back regarding the Orioles.
Well, that's another one of these guys where, you know, there's going to be a lot of interest because he's really, really good. So when you picked up the option last year, you had an option to maybe make it more than that. But it's not the way we do business here. At least not yet. So, you know, again, it kind of what Michael Kay said about the Yankees. They don't mind paying top dollar price. But once a guy becomes a free agent, you find out how much loved you are. And it usually has some dollar and cents marks right behind it. But he's really been terrific. And the other thing about Darren O'Day, he and his wife have done so much for the community. He's a terrific guy. He's a settling force. So,
and the Wounded Warrior Project, he and his wife Elizabeth have done tremendous things.
But it's hard not to root for people like this. And obviously, if this is how I played on a lot of great teams. You have quality people that are very good at what they do. They have a passion for not only being good on the field, off the field, in the clubhouse. And Darren's one of those guys. So obviously, if he leaves, you'll miss him. I mean, that's simple as that.
1 ball, 1 strike out. Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury an 0 for 4. Machado still in at third base. Ball put up in the air, right field. Parra. He puts it away. Ellsbury's retired, 1 down in the 8th inning. Ellsbury now 2 for 9 off Darren O'Day. Parra looking like the wide receiver out there with a lot of that sunblock on. And enjoying his day in right field. That'll bring up Gardner. Gardner's got an 0 for 4. 1 hit, 9 at bats in the series. Hitting under .230 against the Orioles on the year. Gardner against O'Day, 0 for 9. 1 down here in the 8th. The Orioles looking to put one away and make it 5 in a row. Well, we at least now know Texas is going to play at Toronto. 2 division winners. Joe Girardi still waiting to see what's going to happen on the wild card scene. The Yankees are going 0-1 count. Kansas City's going to play the wild card. Pitch will be up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Wild card, of course, 1 game playoff to decide who that wild card team is. One and 1 out. Manny Machado's moved in on the grass against Gardner at third. 7-4, Orioles up. Not a lot of people. I know discussions of late I've had with some fans about why not expand the wild card to at least 3 games. It's not a fair indication, etc. And it's true. But I think the reason for that is not supposed to be. If you don't want to play in a wild card game, then win the division. The whole idea making it that way was to make winning the division meaningful, to put some W's up on the board. And if you don't, then you get stuck with a one shot in a wild card game.
And then you can always grouse about that. But on the other hand, it does give you an option. Kansas City, they won the wild card and won all the way to the World Series.
Yep. Gives you a chance to be in. O'Day gets a strikeout.
Well, if you don't win it, you probably complain. Otherwise, I mean, at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to play in the wild card. They just don't know where.
Yep.
And this is, he talk about Darren O'Day. He probably tops out at 88, but he can ride it. A little different grip pressure, turn it over, cut it, change speeds with that. Last couple of springs, former one of the Orioles pro scouts, one of their 4 pro scouts, Todd Froworth out of Chicago, submariner, worked with the changeup, but doesn't throw it very much, and hasn't needed to.
2 down. Rodriguez. A-Rod with a couple of walks, 0 for 2. Pops it up in the air. First pitch seen. Parra. He's got it. And O'Day comes on and retires the side in order. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with the Orioles leading the Yankees 7-4. For next year, it's going to be the 20th year of interleague play, believe it or not. It'll line up with the East, American League East, National League West, AL Central, NL East, the AL West against the National League Central, so the Orioles will get to see that National League Western Division. Most miles to travel next year, Seattle, Angels, and A's. Good luck and enjoy the card games. There are several notable anniversaries going on next season. The Mets will have their 30th anniversary of the '86 World Series and the Bill Buckner ground ball. It'll be the 20th anniversary, start of the recent Yankees, most recent Yankee dynasty. 40th anniversary, the 75-76 Big Red Machines, and on. A lot of celebrations. I can't believe it's going to be the end of Turner Field with the Braves getting a new field built. Seems like that just opened.
Yeah, it really does.
But it's going to be gone.
So Justin Wilson comes on. Boy, what a nice job he's done for the Yankees. Talked about the Tonses, more strikeouts than anybody else. Miller, who came over from the Orioles after the Orioles rented him for 2 months. But they went out and got him. And again, you know, you always talk about how valuable pro scouts are. You know, to have their finger on the pulse. They needed a left-hander, and Pittsburgh, because Martin went to Toronto, needed a catcher. So Cervelli, he goes to Pittsburgh in the trade. Wilson comes over here, over 70 appearances and lights out. Really gives him somebody to get to Betances and Miller.
John Ryan Murphy has come on to do the catching. McCann out of the ball game as the Orioles got on the board in the first inning. They got 2 runs on a Wieters 2 RBI base hit, and the Orioles have not looked back. Closest the Yankees got was the 2-1 score, and that one tails away. A 1-ball 1-strike count. So Wilson working here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. David Lowe's moved into the leadoff spot. He came on for defensive purposes, taking the place of Reimold in center field. This is his first at bat. David will put it down the line in left, headed over to the seats. Gardner gives chase and runs out of room.
Yeah, and Wilson is pitching in the 7-4 game because he hadn't pitched since the 30th of September. And here we are on October 4th, so get him ready for the wild card game. Hard thrower. We saw him in Pittsburgh last year. Of course, the Orioles have seen him this year.
1-2. Texas beating the Angels 9-2. Win they needed to have. They got it. And the division championship. Pitch taken outside for a ball. Count goes to 2-2. Pittsburgh got a win today as they beat Cincinnati by a score of 4-0, clinching the home field in the wild card game. Swing and a miss, and that'll be a strikeout.
Yeah, that is a really nice breaking ball. Straight down. I mean, that's one of those sliders. You stay on top of it. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Another.
We want to be the last game of the 2015 regular season, and Joe Girardi's just getting things ready for the wild card game, and that means Andrew Miller, who we wanted to get in just for a short outing, is going to do just that.
The Orioles trade Eduardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez now a starter with the Red Sox. So again, 36 out of 38. And dominant left-hander. He struck out 21 of the last 10 and third innings. 25 and 12 in the third inning. Strikeout guy. Hard to hit. Tall, lanky, great slider. Velocity up into the mid-90s. And of course, Betances is the setup guy. He is a win and lose games with Andrew Miller. Today it's just a tune-up, as you mentioned, Gary.
And it'll be Parra coming on. Parra's had another big day with a couple of singles, 2 RBIs, 2 for 4. And Miller's pitch will trickle away. And a 1-0 count. So Andrew Miller with 1 down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Miller's 1-0 delivery to him, and that's going to bounce away too. Hello.
Oh, John Ryan Murphy. Well, I mean, that ball, I just think he missed it.
That great breakdown. Looked like he had the glove over the top of it. That pitch will be in there for a strike. Count goes 2-1.
You know, he's one of these pitchers, Gary, that he throws so hard, but I think sometimes he actually feels that the slider's the better command pitch, so he'll throw it in any count. I mean, 3-2, doesn't matter who's hitting.
2-1 delivery, and that's on the inside corner.
And Parra is almost in the Oriole dugout. Because Andrew Miller 6'7", born down in Gainesville.
Two delivery on the way, and that's going to be outside. Well, Houston has lost. The Angels have lost. So Houston ends up with the back door in.
Yeah, and they go to New York to play the Yankees.
Yep, and they will play in New York. So this one doesn't matter anymore for the Yankees. They're going to get what they wanted, and that's the wild card game at Yankee Stadium. Parra draws the free pass from Miller. 1 down, 1 on. Manny Machado coming up. Chris Davis may get another at bat here in the bottom half of the 8th inning as he is in the on deck circle. Cardinals will be at home against the wild card winner in the National League. The Mets will be going to Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Fouled away. Manny Machado, 1 strike count. Manny an 0 for 3 in the ball game. Did draw a walk and scored. .286 on the year. Big 35 home runs.
Yeah, the amazing thing about the Yankees, to cinch the wild card, they had to beat the Red Sox after losing 3 in a row.
Towering pop up to short. Gregorius, look out. Headley comes in and takes it anyway.
So the win on Thursday night to clinch the wild card was what, their 10,000th win?
Yeah.
Will they be able to get 10,001 this year?
Will we get another Yankee pitcher? Joe Girardi saw the final score, realized he can use now as many pitchers as he wants, and intends to do just that.
13 guys that the Yankees have out in their bullpen. Again, this will be his 12th appearance of the year. Can see more hits than innings pitched. Hasn't walked anybody. That's a good thing. And again, he started the year down at AA Trenton, where he was 6-4, a couple of saves, 2.21 ERA, and then on to AAA Scranton.
Chris Davis. Major League home run leader with 46. '46 came in the 5th inning, a 2-run homer, bringing in Manny Machado, who had picked up a walk in front of him. Runner on here will take second base with 2 down. Parra goes down to second, 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. So with the results today, 3 new division winners in the American League. The Orioles won it last year. Toronto wins it this year in the East. Detroit won it in the Central. They lose it. Los Angeles, the Angels, came away with a division win last season. So different division winners in all 3 in the AL. And a blast, right field, way back, and goodbye, home run. What a finish. Chris Davis, number 47, a 2-homer ball game for the Orioles. The 2015 Major League leader in home runs, Chris Davis. The fans want a curtain call.
Yeah, watch this slider. It doesn't take long right here. So fastball to left center, and then a slider just ripped into the flag court.
So the Orioles, the long ball, and look at that speed. 104 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, 77 miles per hour is the average.
Matt Wieters, and a swing and a miss. So the fans who hung on to the end here in the final game, and most of them did who came to the ballpark, get a real treat as they get to see Chris Davis in a 2-homer ball game, 4 RBIs, 3 hits in the game, the 8th multi-home run game that Chris has had. And boy, was that a blast. Coming to 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Wieters will take the pitch inside. The Orioles a 9-4 lead, out hitting the Yankees 12-10 in this ball game. Matt with a big single in the first, putting the Orioles up to stay with that 2 RBI base hit with 2 down. Followed up with a leadoff double in the 4th inning and would score 2 for 4 in the game. A lot of smiles. Due in the air, right field towards the alleyway. Beltran over, will put it away, and that will do it. But for Chris Davis, an amazing finish to the year. 159 home runs in 4 years for Davis. 2 in this ball game, his 47th. with the "We Want Chris" chant as he came out, and what a finish for him this season. And the Orioles 9-4, 3 outs away from a sweep.
So Zach Britton comes on. This will not be a save situation, but again, I mean, one of the dominant closers in baseball, second year doing that. 36 out of 40. Look at all the strikeouts, not a lot of walks, ground ball specialist, one of the best, and then pretty much gets it done with one of the best sinkers in baseball.
Noel is the pinch hitter, Rico Noel.
Yeah, it's
and
going to
that's
be
a fair ball. Didn't get him there, does get him there.
Wow. Nice play. Zach Britton, he gets to it very quickly. Again, I mean, look at the spin on this right there. Noel knows, he tries to tag him. Of course, he's way out of the baseline. Should have been called out right there. Even though I guess maybe the umpire said he was avoiding the tag, but either way, he gets him. One pitch, one out. That'll work.
Sanchez is going to be the pinch hitter. One away here in the 9th inning.
Now, he got his first major league at bat yesterday. A long touted, big, strong catching prospect.
1-0 count, one down. As the Orioles going to finish 500, 81-81, and with a 5-game win streak, sweep the Yankees.
Yeah, you look at Britton, you look at Davis. I mean, you know, Zach was a starting pitcher, won 11 games and all kinds of arm problems. He had to make the club last year. So they kept him around, and then all of a sudden Tommy Hunter, he was the closer, and Jimmy Johnson off to the A's, and next thing you know, Tommy doesn't really save them as maybe as quickly or as that you might like, and Zach Britton goes from being a starting pitcher to a healthy closer, as good as just about anybody, and then does it for the second consecutive year.
One ball, 2-strike delivery. Swing and a miss. This game has been played with a heavy heart by the Orioles manager. Buck Showalter's mom passed away last night, an hour after the finish of the second game of the doubleheader. So Buck today feeling a great loss. I don't think many, if any, of the players know it. He did not talk about it publicly before the game, but this has been a tough one for Buck. We extend our condolences to Buck and his family, and our congratulations to him for the job done this year. His coaches knew, and for Buck, this ball game will have a lot of extra meaning. His mom watched every game, watched us broadcast games. She did last night before she passed on. So our best wishes to Buck and the family. And the Orioles come away with a 9-4 win to wrap it up.